Hey, good evening, everybody. Sammy Thunder here. Welcome to another vintage chill and chat. And a lot is going to happen this weekend. We have the Philly show tomorrow, which I honestly cannot wait for it. I saw a lot of footage, a lot of videos, a lot of shorts, and heard back from some people that the Philly show looked really, really busy, which again is very encouraging to see and hear. Um, just again, just re-encourage or encouraging everybody that the hobby is still going strong and that there's definitely a lot to look forward to. And I got the feeling that the national this year is going to break record numbers. I think it just seems like the strength is kind of rebuilding, and maybe part of that is due to the baseball season really kicking into gear. And so, for a lot of us vintage guys that love to collect the older players, we're just kind of getting back into the fold of things. So, I wanted to say hello to everybody. Stephen, hello. Stephen, looking forward to seeing you at Strongsville. Vintage Goats, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for coming. Dan, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow as well. Wax Pack Dad, how are you doing, man? And I feel like it's been a little bit. Still breaking packs as I'm seeing. Orlando, of course, the liaison of the community. Dom being ridiculous. How you doing, Dom? And Dirk, man, Dirk on the road. He's always on the road. And I don't know where he's at today, but he's somewhere. And he's always keeping track of the pulse of the road. Can't make it to the show, but it's good. Yeah, Vintage Goats, you're absolutely right. The Philly show is one of the top shows to visit. Rick, you are here. Yes, you are present. I still am hoping that you will join one of my live streams one day, as I really want to just pick your brain on a lot of things. Definitely a huge asset to the hobby, as you've been collecting for a long time, and definitely someone that I aspire to collect towards as well. I know we have overlapping similarities. Dirk is saying that he's home tonight. He's hitting the road. Timed it wrong. We'll miss Philly. Well, good news is that Philly is always around the corner. So there's always shows happening. I'd say like every 3 or 4 months, it seems. Mookie was the first to acknowledge that there is an empty display case behind me. Yes, there is a reason. I figured that, if nobody joins the live stream tonight with me to hang out, I will go through the display cards that I have, kind of share some fun stories behind the each of the cards. I wanted to do a thing where I'd come up with like one fact for each of the cards, and then talk a little bit about how I bought them. Thought it'd be pretty fun. Rick, why are you scared? I don't know why you would be scared. Is it based on the fact that I acknowledge uh, you being such a huge asset to the community, or is it the fact that I take inspiration from you? um, Waxpack Dad, are the shows you sell at specifically vintage? Nothing like that in Wisconsin. Definitely no packs. Okay. Well, to answer your question, no, they're not exclusively vintage. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably do so well, as my inventory is pretty small. But um, I would say a majority of the shows I set up at, I'm usually in the minority of vintage dealers. We're not, it's not too many, but the Garfield show usually has a good strength in vintage. So there's definitely that. Um, so yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming. I don't know if you guys have a beverage, but I picked out one of my favorite beers to drink tonight, which is Zadie's Lager. It's brewed in Baltimore. It is one of the cleanest tasting beers, and good, nice way to end the week. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to crack this, and I'll talk a little bit about the Philly show tomorrow. So I am very pleased to say that I will be I'll be carpooling with fellow content creator Mookie Chilson tomorrow. I think it's Mookie's first time at the Philly show, and it's going to be my third time going. And I mentioned to them that uh, get your walking shoes ready. It's kind of a national sized event. Sort of has that feel to it. Smaller, but still has that sort of feel. And it's you got to just soak it all in as best as you can. There's hundreds and I don't know how many tables, maybe 400 or 500 tables, if not more. 400 just sounds easy to mention. So there's that. One other thing I'll mention is that every table is going to have the traditional stuff that you're looking for. So be patient if you're looking for a card that can be not, I want to say commonly found, but if it can be found easily, then take your time on it, because every table is going to have an offer. And but if you're looking for something that's a little more unique, then your opportunities become limited. But at the same time, it's jumping the gun, maybe, depending on the circumstance. As was the case when I went to the county center show, the last one, the winter extravaganza, and I found my what was it, the Tom Seaver Transagram immediately, and I knew, being in New York, a New York market, this was the one and only opportunity that I would get to get not only a transagram but a graded one, so I didn't have to worry about sending it in. So it made it a lot easier. So let's see, Dan, no beer for me tonight. That's okay. A lot of driving tomorrow. Completely understand. It's a lengthy trip, but that's probably about 3 hours and change with traffic. First time, I told Pete we're changing it to 7 a.m. call time. I'm sure Pete was thrilled. I don't think that is the case. I still think it's 8 a.m. But if you're joking, but if it's 7 a.m., I mean, I can make it happen. Yes, Mookie will have an absolute blast. Orlando says he will be at the Palm Beach show tomorrow. Kind of probably has a similar vibe. Orlando is always somebody that just you never know what he's going to buy, and it's kind of great. In a way, he kind of makes his want list a little mysterious. So when he does showcase some new stuff, it's always a nice surprise. Dom, yeah, I at some point, man, we gotta make it work, gotta make it happen. Hopefully, again, these shows happen pretty often, so so we can definitely work it out. Thank you, Steven. Nothing better than hanging out with me. I appreciate that. On a Friday night, I mean, I don't know what people are up to. It seems like we have 20 people now, so it's kind of nice. Looking sure. Orlando shoots great footage. And he's always commenting at the show, just giving you a running narration. I'm gonna help Dan drink his beer tonight. Well, there you go, Dirk. Cheers, buddy. And okay, so call time is still 8 a.m. That's good to know. Howard says he's going to be at the Philly show on Sunday. That's probably a nice time to go. Given that that's the last day, you're going to have a room for opportunity to kind of buy things, maybe at a discounted rate. Hopefully, you can find some good stuff there. Orlando, I don't know what I'm getting until I see it. That's kind of the greatest thing about collecting for some people, is that they kind of go with their instincts on certain things, and it's really admirable. And in some ways, I'm the same way. Like tomorrow, I don't have a clear cut plan. I mean, there are things I want, but unless they're right in front of my face. Outside of that, I don't know. I do know for certain, because I think Steven was asking me. If I go back up a little bit in the chat, let me see if I can find somewhere. Here we go. Steven asked, what are you hunting for tomorrow? So I can say that I will be looking for mid-tier cards to add to my inventory for the show on Sunday that I have in Mount Kisco. They're, like I what I call mid-tier cards are anything between like $11 to $50. So it's been great. I'm kind of glad that there have that a lot of my Premiere stuff in my display case, it hasn't really moved much. I sold the 70 Ryan last week to Scott, who's also known as Mets Collector, somebody that I hope y'all will subscribe to. He's a huge Mets fan and very informative, very knowledgeable in his collection. So, uh, yeah, I think some inventory stuff is in the works. Maybe $100 worth of stuff. And the greatest thing is that there's a lot of tables that have huge, huge discounts on cards. But I guess you gotta be careful because you gotta pick and choose what's there and find stuff. I remember the last Philly show, there was somebody who had a table worth of like just piles of stuff, and there were people surrounding it like it was a crawfish boil. It was just it was pretty remarkable. So, but I plan, really tomorrow is going to be a lot of just hanging out with Mookie, walking around. We're going to just kind of embrace it all. My show footage may not be as the strength of it may not be as good as the last one I did, but because I want to just really make it more of a shared experience between Pete, myself, Mookie, and we go to tables, and those guys, I'm definitely going to pick their ear a lot when if I see something I like. It's kind of nice to kind of bounce, you know, just kind of bounce off each other in terms of like, oh, is this worth it? Is it not worth it? So yeah, that's definitely something that I plan on having happen tomorrow. Just checking in the chat. Looks like, let's see. So Steven says we should plan on. Oh, I'm sorry. We should plan on all meeting at the Philly show in December. That would be the trifecta. This year, Strongsville, the National, and Philly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the greatest thing. There's shows just in the area that make it easy to get to. Dan says he's bringing a list of his set builds, but that's just so I don't buy cards I already have. Yeah, we're all victim of that. We definitely have done that in the past. Andrew, just hey, Andrew joined. Didn't know there's a live stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're doing well, Andrew, and I appreciate it, man. You've been really a huge supporter of the channel lately. With you comment on practically every video, and you're just one of the top commenters. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, supporters. I can't come up with a word. Someone who is participants. Yeah, who just participates in everybody's channel. Yeah. Dom says Maddie, May, Seaver, Ryan, in no order. Take your bets. Yeah, they're probably one of each. Steven's right. Steven has experienced the Philly show, and you'll see lots of stuff there. Yeah, and I always mention this. Steven actually said, "Hey, Sammy, if you run out of money, let me know. I'll buy you something." So that's pretty cool. Andrew said, "Thanks for answering my questions from earlier." Absolutely, I love answering those sort of questions. Seeing patterns emerge when he was asking what sort of cards I've been selling at my shows, and it's been a lot of the mid-tier stuff, kind of a mix between mid-tier and bargain bin stuff. Yes, I'm going to be showing my cards, hopefully, and just kind of giving some fun facts about each card. I tried to squeeze in as much time as I could to give you a fun fact about each one. So Waxpack is asking, what do you consider vintage, pre-79, 50s? So my take on it is very simple. Anything before 1980, I consider vintage. After between 81 and 85, I consider to be a retro period, and then 86 onward, I would say is more junk wax. Yeah, Dom supports that theory. Just a viewer, my friend, but supporter participant works too. Yeah, you are, man. I mean, you're present. That's what matters. You are present at in a lot of different live streams. You're always there, and that really speaks volume for every content creator that you support. You hitting orange this weekend? No, I'm actually still have the 77 Dale Murphy. I probably do. I don't know if I'll check, but you know what? If I don't have one, I will be buying one tomorrow. I won't be at Orange because tomorrow I'm going to be Orange on Sunday, I think. So I'm going to be set up at Mount Kisco. So I'll be in Mount Kisco, setting up there for the Sunday show, which we'll see. It's last time I did it was kind of a misfire, but it's not too far from home, so I think I will check it out. Oh, Mr. Dylan Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, who just started his own grading company. I got to get one of your slabs, so maybe I should send one of my cards over to you. Howard asks, do I prefer PSA or SGC graded cards? Well, you will see when I showcase what I have. It is quite tilted over to one grading company versus another. But I guess now they're under one umbrella, but we're not going to get into that tonight. I was literally just listening to, yeah. Oh, you know what? That's great, man. I'm gonna say something about Cracking Cooperstown. That podcast is awesome, and I'll tell you why. So, Dom, I'm sorry if I mention your age here, but I got to do it because for reference, Dom is 24 years old, and Dom is wise beyond his years because he is just an absolute natural at baseball facts, vintage baseball facts. And I listened to the podcast he did with Jake about catchers that are borderline Hall of Famers, and the statistics and the research he's done is just absolutely phenomenal. So you really learn a lot. You pick up on a lot. And I will say that whenever he was asking Jake to guess certain catchers based on statistics, I was guessing everybody wrong. But I was waiting for the Thurman Munson to come in, and he finally did. And it was really interesting to hear the similarities. I think it was what Buster Posey and Munson, and that if Buster Posey gets in, then Munson's going to get in. So sorry, I don't want to spoil it, but it's great podcast, and I recommend everybody checking out Cracking Cooperstown with Jake and Dom. Definitely. Connecticut trip will probably be the Milford show, so that's looking forward to that. Dylan, come to Philly tomorrow. Leave now. That's a tall order, Mook. Let's see. Andrew's asking, do you ever watch back on your old videos to see how you've grown when it comes to filming for YouTube? Also looking back to see how things have changed and stayed the same since the beginning. Wow, that's a great question. Yes, I've done both. I've looked at my earliest video that I did, and it is remarkable how drastically it's gotten. Not drastically, but how it's gotten better. I think over time you just kind of establish your voice in your channel, and you kind of find your footing in what makes your channel unique. And so I initially started off camera, and then I went on camera again, and I went on camera, and I found that as your collection style changes, your channel is going to change, and the way you deliver your content is going to change too. And so, yeah, I think there's some similarities. I mean, my personality hasn't changed really. At least I don't think it has changed over the span of the 3 years that I've been doing this. But yeah, I think the quality's gotten better, the lighting's gotten better, the audio, video, and so forth. Is always a little bit of kind of nerves that when you get started, when you start doing this, and anybody that I've talked to that started their own channel have always questioned, oh, I don't know if I'm doing well. I think my video, well, and I always say you just have to keep doing it, and you have to just remain focused on what you bring, and not try to mimic anybody else, because otherwise you just lose your own character in the whole process. But great question, Andrew. I'm really glad you asked that. So Mookie is boarding a plane right now. I hope that'd be great if you saw Dylan. I mean, you can spot him from a mile away in terms of just his spunk and personality. Dom is an old man in a kid's. Hey, Brent Richards. Hey, man. Thanks for coming by. Let's see. Waxpack just bought a Munson, and rookie, fingers crossed for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, at some point, I think it will. Dom, you deserve it, man. Absolutely. Andrew's asking now, what about some of the changes in the hobby space since you first posted to? It's hard for me to say, because when I first got started, I really kind of wasn't I wasn't in tune with the community at that point. It seems like now there's a lot of content creators that are starting that have kind of that they have not insiders. I mean, that's the wrong word for it, but I would say that there are people that inspired them to jump into the community by doing their own content creation. I kind of came in without really having much knowledge of the community going in. I was watching, honestly, like my introduction was watching the passes live and watching his auctions and his antique visits, card shops, and so forth. And I was participating a lot in those chats. And I like John's channel, and John does a great job, and I've purchased from him a number of times. But then I started kind of shifting into more card shows, and things kind of just expanded outwards. It's kind of something I can't really put my finger on what it was in particular, but going to the National for the first time in Atlantic City, I started meeting some people, and it wasn't really until after that things kind of started steamrolling a little bit further on, and I started interacting more with other people, and collaborations expanded, and it kind of just took off from there. Love these questions, Andrew. Uh, Congrats on the Munson rookie card. Ken, appreciate it. That's very nice of you to say. I just, I try to just be as original as I can be. I don't want to try to put my, I don't want to project myself into thinking that I know something that I don't. And it's great when you guys call me out on things that I should know and should learn, especially with pronunciation of certain players. I still don't know how to say Red Schoendienst. I don't know. I was looking at Mikey, his video today, and he had a full page of Reds cards, and so I'll never get it, but I appreciate you guys helping me out along the way. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with everybody. So, guys, ask me some questions. I have too many. Yeah, listen, I'm happy to do it. Let's see. Congrats on the Munson. Can I ask? Yeah, how much did you pay for it? It's a classic. James, hey man, thank you so much for coming. Good evening. Same as Sammy here. After 4 months on YouTube and only had 38 subscribers. Yeah, and it's incredible. Orlando's journey to me is incredible, because when I went to the National this past year in Chicago, it seemed like Orlando had the energy of having 100,000 subscribers based on how much he was walking around and how many people he knew, and he was introducing everybody to everybody. I mean, I can't wait to see Orlando again, man. It's gonna be great to hang out with him in Strongsville. It's gonna be a great time. Pastor Craig. Speaking of somebody that is jumped on, who's recently become a content creator, Pastor Craig does a great job at delivering content, and I'm a really big fan of his channel and watching his videos. Vintage Goats, 2 weeks in, I have 23 subs. I think that we definitely need to increase that count, man. So Vintage Goats, we should definitely subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed to Vintage Goats. Vintage Goat 28, and I haven't got it graded, but I feel it's a 5 or a 6. Good price. Really nice price on that. Hey, Warren. Another content creator as well. Warren D. and Clee. He's going to be at Strongsville as well. Look forward to meeting you too, man. Yeah, after Atlantic City, my channel took off. Also made so many friends. That's half the battle, is it's just being a really nice person and being friendly, personable. And Orlando has all those characteristics, so it's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. Let's see. 24. Yeah, man. Let's keep subbing to Vintage Goats. Okay, John, help me out. Red Shane Dienst. I'll do my best. I'm gonna mess it up. I know. I'm not gonna remember it. What's the best or favorite videos you've made? Oh man. Great question. There are certain SGC videos that I submit that I remember really just being excited about because of the cards that I was sending in. I haven't done a lot of the SGC videos lately because I usually send in when I'm there at the Philly show or the county center. Those jump to mind immediately. I kind of miss doing a lot of the card show antique store videos. I used to dedicate an entire Saturday just driving around New York, Connecticut area, and just going from shop to shop and recording the outside, kind of giving you an established shot of the antique store and then going in and just recording whatever they had. And just it was an adventure for me. And I know that for a lot of y'all that don't have access to some of these shops or antique stores or malls, it's an experience for you too to kind of go along the adventure with me. And I know that it's I'm there by myself, but when I post it, I know y'all can kind of embrace that. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. Um, Orlando, love me some Orlando. Absolutely, absolutely. I have to thank you for being such a great content creator. You were the first person that gave me some constructive feedback and support for my channel. Oh, absolutely. I do remember you asking me, and I mentioned that everybody has their niche in terms of what their channel represents. My channel, I think, is focused mostly on the card shows experiences, and I feel like card shows, card shops, those are the videos that kind of provide the most viewership. And so I remember mentioning that you have to kind of create the best thing to do for your channel is to create videos that garner a lot of views. And it seems like when I was checking out your channel, a lot of the videos that were really generating the popularity views were the vintage wax pack breaks that you were doing. And I mean, I think I checked your channel recently, and I saw some of your old vintage football packs were really generating like thousands and thousands of views. And so I find that the mystery of breaking a pack and finding, hopefully you can find the white whale in there, and that and I think obviously it's paid dividends for you because your channel has grown. I think you're way past 1,000 mark. To correct me if I'm wrong, you might be even further along than that. But absolutely, I'm glad to help, and I hope you continue to grow. Just checking in. Orlando only signs flats. Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for Strongsville either, man. It's going to be exciting. 25 and counting for vintage goats. Let's, we have 43 people in here. I think if we can get to 50 for vintage goats, that would be pretty cool. So let's get them there if we can do it. Just checking in, Pastor Craig. Absolutely. We should also subscribe to Craig's channel as well. Trader Griff's. Oh man, it's been a while, buddy. I'm glad you enjoy the card show videos. I'll try to get as much as I can with the Philly show this weekend. But again, it's going to be hanging out with Mookie and Pete, and I don't get the opportunity to hang out with them outside of the Garfield show. So it's going to be a time to kind of just walk around and soak it all in. So I'll try. I'll do my best, but I can't guarantee it's going to be as fulfilling as the last videos I've done. Seeing some new channels, yeah, that's the greatest thing about these live streams is that you bring in a pool of people, which is great. I like watching Orlando dodge gators on his walks. Let's see who else we got. Does SGC consider the Redman tobacco card standard size or oversized? I haven't sent one in, but I've never sent a Redman in, but I will say from experience, I've sent in. What have I sent in? That's oversized. I sent in something. I know I sent in something that was oversized, and they didn't charge me extra. So, but I guess it's all circumstantial depending on the card. So it might be worth asking on Facebook or asking Net54. Those guys will definitely be able to give you a clear answer. Andrew's, I love these. Like Andrew, keep asking, man. What type of videos do you like watching? What about video channels that don't do it for you? I don't want to answer the second question because I don't want to put down anybody's channel. And really, nobody. It's not. There's nobody's channel that doesn't do it for me in particular. I mean, everybody has their preference as far as what they enjoy watching. I like watching card show videos because that's the stuff that I really like. That's stuff I make. SGC submissions and reveals, I'm a big fan of. I like those. I'm trying to think. I love the live streams. I love watching Rick's vintage oddball cards. I love seeing what he's presenting. Mangini with his charisma. Orlando's channel. I mean, I love watching Dom's channel whenever he posts something new. I love watching the videos of content creators that buy stuff from me so that when they showcase it on the channel, I love hearing what they have to say. It's always encouraging. Like Mookie, I love hearing what Mookie's going to say. He likes to troll a little bit, and it's always fun. So those are the videos I like to watch. What is a one Grail card you hope to get at the National? I have a couple. I want the 54 Stylmeyer Willie Mays and SGC one because that's all I can afford. I'd like to find the 1975, excuse me, 1975 Tom Seaver Laughlin Super Stand Up or the Willie Mays, whichever one I find. And let's see what else. There's some Mathewson stuff I'm looking at. What else? What else? What else? I have all the Tom Seaver stuff I really want outside that Laughlin. I like the oddball, unique stuff. So, similar to Orlando, it's all going to be based on what's going to be there and if it catches my eye. But great question. Just trying to catch up. 5 subs in 3 minutes. Awesome, Vintage Goats. Let's keep them going. I want to get like this is kind of a challenge for me. I'm going to periodically check to see Vintage Goats channel, and I want to see that he's getting up there in count. You do a great job, Sammy. Oh, I appreciate that, Warren. Thank you so much. I enjoy it. I enjoy the collaboration. It's something that I've been really trying to work on because I think when last year I wasn't really involved so much in collaborating with other channels, and it was something that I feel was kind of limiting me and growing in the community, not just for myself, but also just engaging with others. And it was honestly being invited to join the Four Collectors channel was great because that kind of gave me the freedom to explore other areas, outside of my own channel, and also to participate with the other guys, with John, Theo, and Pepino, or Caesar. So it's been great. Love the diversity of collecting on your channel. Would love to hear more vintage basketball from you, but maybe that's just me. Ron Burgundy. Vintage basketball does not get a lot of love. The videos that I produce on vintage basketball really kind of sit at like 100 or 200 views, which is fine. It kind of just goes to show that vintage basketball just doesn't have the same strength that baseball does. Uh, I think when you look at the 1969 Topps basketball set, you're looking at one of the more classic sets that have first year cards or not first year, but like first cards of so many Hall of Famers, and it's one of my favorite sets. I'm keeping all the rulers for myself because I love the rulers because of how colorful they are. But to go back to your thing, basketball, I have some basketball I'm going to go over tonight, so I'll definitely share some of that. All right, sub to goats. I'm gonna check. Let's keep it going. Thank you, Orlando. Yeah, hit the like button if you like this. It's just hanging out with everybody. Whether it gets 5 likes or 100 likes. Or it won't get 100 because there's only 44 in here. But awesome, Warren. Thank you for subbing him. I love vintage. I love goats. Summed it up. Mookie has a farm. I don't know if any of you know this, but Mookie has a farm in Jersey. Let's go. Yes. I'm so busy at shows, it makes it hard to make content while I'm there. Got to talk my kids into filming. It's a whole production, I imagine, Griff. It's a lot of production. Oh, God. Okay. I need to catch up with everybody. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Trader Griff, I didn't get charged extra. Okay, perfect. So Griff was here to save the day in terms of giving us some perspective on the Red Man tobacco. I don't like Jazz Finley or SCI. Everyone has a preference. I've watched, I think his name is Eric. I've watched Eric's channel periodically, Sports Card Investor. I don't really watch him that much. I don't have anything against Jeff, but just not my cup of tea. Just subbed. Well, Goat. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you doing that. Let's see. Just sent off SGC order more to come. Awesome, Warren. I can't wait to see that video. Are we going to get you over to the dark side of football cards? Absolutely not. I know nothing of football cards. I know the players, but I don't know. I'm staying in my lane. I love getting my content creator deal from Sammy. He baits the trap for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna, tomorrow I'm gonna buy more Mookie Wilson rookie cards, and you're gonna be witness of it. And then 2 weeks later, you're gonna buy them for me. Mookie's a blast. Love, yes, yes, he is. Same money. Okay, so John is filling in some more gaps in terms of the oversize question. Yeah, Warren's channel is great too. I love Warren's enthusiasm, and I look forward to meeting him. 11 more subs. Yes, goats, vintage goats. 34 now. That's remarkable. I'm so glad this is helping. All right, let's see. Just want to try. Love the channel. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Um, just looking through. 10 plus subs in 7 minutes. That's a record so far. You made it on YouTube when people send you stuff. PO box runs out of room for letters and slabs and sometimes raw cards. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the PO box stuff is, mostly like I'm getting something really big at the PO box on Tuesday, hopefully. Some people know about it, but some people don't. So I don't want to share too many details right now. Keep it as a surprise. Sam, which one of the 4 collectors are you? John, Paul, George, or Ringo? Probably Ringo. I don't want to say. Yeah, John, I think John is in. John is in here, so I don't want to assume anything. Don't let us down. We want to see fire on every video. Yeah, that's what we all want. You was the biggest influence in you starting your own YouTube channel. So Ken, yeah, if you're asking who was like the biggest influence, again, I kind of entered without really having much idea of what the community looked like. I started watching the passes live first, so I would say probably, his channel is what kind of drew me into getting more involved. But at the time, I didn't really know that many people in the community. I didn't know Mangini. I didn't know Orlando. I didn't know Rick or any of the big channels at the time. So it took time to kind of figure out who who was who, and got a chance to meet people, and it just naturally kind of grew into what it is now. So it's been great. I'm glad I have such good relationships with everybody, or a lot of people in the community, and there are definitely some more people that I still don't know that I hope to get to know better as we get to see each other more at shows. Matt's asking, "Hey Matt, why is player collecting the best way to collect?" It's not. I don't think it. I mean, I don't think there's any right or wrong way. I just like it because it kind of limits me on buying power. uh, I mean, I learned. I wouldn't say I learned the hard way, because I mean, it just collecting is a natural thing. You kind of just evolve in your collection, and I couldn't make it I couldn't make it out as a set builder. I couldn't make it out as a rookie card collector. I mean, I did pretty well there, but I think player collecting for me works. I can just focus on players that I like, and I'm not I'm not like a kid with like a shiny red ball going in the street where I have to chase after every little thing. So great question though. We're pounding goat milk on. Yeah, well, have fun. I'm not going to participate in that. I'll just watch from the back seat. Oh man. John Cove, question for you. What are you looking at Strongsville, Philly? Thoughts on refraining from one show to the next? Are you budgeting? Great question. So this one, I'm taking Orlando's advice, and that is simply, if you find something that you really want and it's there for the taking, and you feel as though it's not going to, the opportunity may not repeat itself. Absolutely, I'll budget for the opportunity that's there. So if I spend a lot of money tomorrow and my budget's limited for Strongsville, so be it. Uh, if I walk away at Strongsville buying a $25 card, but it's something that I really like, then so be it. If it's a $1,000 card, so be it. It's a great question, because refraining, it's such a challenge. You can't I don't think you can really plan. You can prepare for that. I think it's something that just that happens. So if something's there for the taking that you really want, and the opportunity may not repeat itself, it's worth jumping on it if it makes sense to you. Great question. Hey Jacob, thank you so much for coming, man. Jacob Dahl, Mike Petty, subscribe to. I'm assuming that's to Vintage Goats. Warren is commenting on Matt's question. It's just your thing. Player collecting can just be easier and cheaper depending on the era. Absolutely, that's definitely true. Sub to Vintage Goats. Oh, Lee is here. Lee, all right. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go back in time to one of the questions that were asked of me, which is who inspired me to create a channel. Lee was also one of the first channels I started watching, and I when I did my ballot for the YouTube Sports Cards Hall of Fame, I put in a vote for Lee of Criterium Racer. Lee is a huge Braves collector, and one of the earliest channels I watched. And Lee is a big collector of non-sports cards as well, the Goonies and such. I think you sent me a Goonies card, wasn't it? Like for the holidays, I think you sent me a Goonies card, which I still have. So thank you for that. So yeah, definitely Lee is another channel, Criterium Racer. Petty channel next. Yeah, I think if Mike Petty creates a channel, it's going to explode. Just catching up with everybody here. A lot of comments coming through. Not sure I'd like a Yoko Ono rookie card. Probably not. Saying Vintage Goat saying Mangini just because he was the first guy I met. Were you at the National? Did I meet you? I'm sorry if I don't remember. I'm terrible with names, great with faces. Mike, Bob, Boozle, myself, one more person who doesn't have a channel vacant spot, but we could be 4 viewers for 4 viewers. That's classic. Yes, I love that. Great. That's a great channel name. So forgive me. I'm just trying to catch up with people here. I love that Sammy's reading every single comment. This is amazing. I'm doing my best. I have a lot to say when what percentage of Philly would you say is vintage? What percentage of that is baseball? It's a great question. I want to say it's probably split 50-50. I mean, it's such a loose answer. I can't really say for certainty, but I will say that when I walked around the last time, there was vintage overload, a lot of it. So, it's remarkable. One of my favorite shows to go to for that very reason. Who was the first player you collected? As a teenager, prior to being a teenager, barely when I was 8 or 9 years old, Mark McGwire. I wanted Mark McGwire cards. Todd Helton cards, and this would make Wax Pack Dad really happy. But I collected Terrell Davis. I loved Terrell Davis when I was a kid. I thought he was explosive running back, and I have a lot of his cards sitting on my nightstand right now because I wasn't sure what to do with them. Todd Helton was a big one. McGwire, I loved Helton because I was a first baseman and a pitcher. Roger Clemens, I liked. Donruss 87 were the cards I really wanted as a kid. And when I got when I started getting the McGwire rated rookies, those were like a huge thrill. So, great question. Orlando is like the Yoda of cards. He's very much that way. Even if you plan for certain shows, plan on it changing, you'll see things. Yeah, it's exactly what happens. I anticipate tomorrow, if I don't find what I'm looking for, I feel as though, I'm going to buy stuff for my inventory. I know that's going to happen for certain. But if I don't find what I'm looking for, then I will at least walk away with something. There are plenty of dealers. There's a couple of dealers. Well, not going to say plenty, but there are a couple of dealers there that sell like oddball stuff that you wouldn't see at your local shows. Like programs, ticket stubs. Not that I'm really big into those, but you'll find some novelty items that are unique. I'm pretty new to the hobby. Joined around April 2023-ish, so probably Josh Allen. Yeah. All right. Welcome, VG. I'm gonna call you that. Hope you don't mind. 46 watching. Nice Friday get together. Yeah. And I mean, I haven't even it's great. I haven't even gotten into the cards yet, but I'm happy to do this too. Just kind of hang out and chat with you guys. Just going through. Yeah, Lee, you did send me a Goonies card. I appreciate that, man. It's my first Goonies card ever. Craig says it's nice to have YouTube friends and collectors that appreciate the big finds or pickups. Coworkers and friends and family may not understand or care. But at least we have each other. Yeah, it's true. Although my brother-in-law and my nephew are my biggest fans. Sorry, I know you guys. I know there's a lot of big fans of my channel, but my brother-in-law is my biggest fan because every single time I see my sister, my nephew, and my brother-in-law and my niece, my brother-in-law is always talking about the last video that I did. But yeah, it's I at least have that family member who understands what I do and appreciates it. Just looking through. Do you collect sleeves, sleeve, or chested Mets uniform? Great question. Yes, I do. I focus my Seaver collection to be specifically from 67 to about, I guess, 70. When did he become 79? Yeah, so 78, 79 is kind of where I cut it off. But generally, the Seaver stuff I like to collect is kind of I'm not going to go out of my way to buy 75 Seaver tops. It's just if I really want to find one for myself, maybe down the road I will. But I like the unique stuff, the postcards of him, like stuff that's like 7-Eleven stuff if it exists. I know the cup exists, things like that. So that's kind of what I like. Truffle shuffle. Andrew, do you ever think you're an influencer since you make videos and you never know who might decide to buy cards based on things you say do? I try to avoid that. I don't want to influence people in terms of buying, like suggesting to buy things. It's not right. I'm not an expert. I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself just an enthusiast. So if people are influenced by stuff that I'm buying, that's awesome. If they, I want people to just kind of enjoy what they're collecting. That's a great question though. I kind of worry about it sometimes because I don't want people to be disappointed if they're influenced to buy something based on something that I like and they end up disappointed on it. It's not my intention to try to sway you into doing something a certain way because I just want people to enjoy what they're collecting. And I take after collectors like Orlando and Rick and all these guys that just are enthusiasts for the hobby. They're experts; they know a lot, but they're not trying to influence you to do something that you haven't done before. Craig used Orlando's advice and spent my Strongville money on the thrift store purchase. Hitman 23, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, I like that. Friday. Orlando cost me 20 large last month. Or see, talk about disappointment. I mean, look, Petty's disappointed. And it's not great to disappoint Petty. Uh, Mikey really did. I love that. Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with everybody. I love all the show footage of vintage baseball. It never gets old. Yeah, I love it too. It keeps us going, keeps us enthusiastic. Two Denver legends, a Todd Father and TD. Yeah, I don't know why I was so interested in Terrell Davis and Todd Helton. I think at the time, just Todd Helton was at the height of his career and popularity, and Terrell Davis obviously with the 2 Super Bowls. So just catching up here. Dark Mike Rises. I should probably start inviting people in at some point. I don't know if you guys wanted me to keep blabbing on. I'm reading your comments and enjoying them. So Mookie is in the same boat. Seaver 67 through 77. Yeah. Then going again 83, 84. I have a couple of hits from 83, 84 as well. Warren is leaving. Wish I could stay on, but I promised my wife I'd watch shows with her. Good night, hobby friends. Good night, Warren. I look forward to seeing you. I'm sure we'll bump into each other again in the digital world here. Seaver and Red Sox uniform. Meh. Yeah, no, it's such a shame. '77 season, I think. That sounds about right. I should probably know more, but where do you put that turkey red cloth card, and can you show it? The turkey red cloth card. Are you talking about the S74 silks, the Mathewson that I have, or are you talking about something else? Remind me. Let's see. If you buy what Sammy buys, you will have his collection. Collect what you like. Yes. There you go. It holds true. Uh, buy what you have to. Everybody's different. You have to buy what you like, and there's always going to be overlap in terms of our interests. That's always true. Really happy you made that pivot to oddball, Sammy. Hope you find the Laughlin stand up in Stoudemire maze tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to see the Stoudemire 54 maze tomorrow, and in PSA 9, it's currently on eBay for $150,000. It's Ashich's table. I'm just going to go and see it. I'll make sure I record that. But yeah, I'm glad I joined because I know you're an oddball collector too. The stuff you collect. I remember, yeah, like you and your son at the National, you guys were collecting some cool stuff. Vintage Goat's 17 now. I'm gonna check on that. Some of the YouTube experts are pretending. If they are, I'm just not really. I don't. It depends on who you're classifying as an expert. But if we're talking about some of the bigger names, I don't know because I just don't really focus too much time on the channels. Collect what you like is good advice. Yes, it is. Even when it isn't. You got me in the second half there, Andrew. Exactly. A few people have influenced me to buy stuff, but I won't ever buy the exact thing as somebody. It's kind of hard to, I think. It'd be very difficult to be the clone of somebody else's collection. But there's overlaps for sure. How long are you planning to be on tonight? I don't know. I want to invite people in. So if you guys want me to invite people in, I'm happy to do that. I'm also happy just to kind of chat with you guys and continue talking. I think this is a lot of fun. Still drinking my beer, so. Jason, hey man, got on late, just popping in to say hello, getting ready to play some poker. I assume that's what you mean. Texas Hold'em, or 5-card stud, 7-card stud, or 7-card. What is it? 7-card. Yeah. What's the game where it's like 4 cards? Omaha. Yeah. Thinking starting a player PC of my favorite player growing up, which was Tony Gwynn. That's a good one. You could probably find some really cool oddball stuff during his rookie year. Like I haven't delved into too much Tony Gwynn stuff, but I mean, it's such a great player to collect. I mean, one of the top 5 greatest hitters of all time. Let's see. Do you just look for good deals when replenishing your dealer inventory? Do you have a particular strategy? Great question. Yeah, I mean, I look for if it comes down to the mid-tier cards, which is what I'm looking for tomorrow. I look for tables that have the bargain bin stuff because you never know what you're going to find in there. So yeah, I look for cards that are priced a little bit under that I can make a small profit on. That's there's definitely a strategy in terms of I just have to keep track of which players are doing well in selling. So obviously there are the big names like Nolan Ryan, or like if we're talking about like 60s and 70s, obviously Mays, Aaron are going to sell well, Clemente is going to sell well, Koufax will sell well. But if we're talking about like the second tiered players, you have to kind of be picky and choosy with who you buy. Like if you're buying a Frank Robinson card, you have to think about which ones you're going to buy. So as far as, I look for deals. There are certain tables that I know to go to find those deals. But that just comes with time and card show experience of just going to them. 19 subs in less than 30 minutes. Got to be an all-time record. Vintage Goats. Let's go VG. I'm on Team VG. The Silk. Okay. I will show that soon. Was that not a turkey red? Let me see. I'll show it right now because Dylan asked nicely. Hold on a sec, guys. I have my stack here. So, Dylan, these are from, I think this is the one you're asking about. 1909 S74 silks. So this is the white. It's missing the back. This one I bought at the Philly show, actually, raw. Obviously, it's trimmed. There's no denying that. So, yeah, that's the one I bought from Woody Durward, who's one of the dealers I'm going to see tomorrow, hopefully. Just sub the VG, perfect. Dylan's talking about the S. Oh, okay. S81 oversized. That's the one you want to see. I can, yeah, I'll pull that out in a little bit. If you don't mind just hanging tight for a little bit. Okay. John's asking, do you walk the show and look and target, or do you pounce if you see something? I pounce if it's something that I see that would be great for my collection. I don't pounce for inventory replenishments. I can sit back and wait on that because it's not a huge priority. Pouncing, yes, it depends. Last time I went to the Philly show, or generally, if I'm going as a buyer and not setting up at the show, um, I will pounce if there's an opportunity. But like the Philly show in December, my strategy, or not a strategy, but excuse me, when I went there, I recorded for at least an hour and a half. Then I spent the rest of the time looking for collection pickups or for inventory replenishments. But during that time, if I saw anything that piqued my curiosity, I definitely jumped on it. So, great question. 4 mantles and 7 mantles, 1968 game cards. I love those game cards. Let Sammy cook. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Mike, I'm drinking Zadie's Lager from Baltimore. It's my new favorite beer. I can't pounce. I'm afraid to miss. I can't pounce. I'd be afraid to miss something. So it depends. I mean, it depends on what your collecting preferences. Again, take this with a grain of salt. But if you're looking for something that's like more on the traditional scale of cards that are out there, I don't think you have to worry about pouncing on it unless it's such an explosive deal that you have to. I think you can sit back and wait on that, but that's just my 2 cents on it. It just depends on what it is. No Limit Hold'em tournament. Ooh, I like that. What's the buy-in? Andrew, how did you guys come up with the Four Collectors channel? And is it everything that you thought it would be? What are some things you have planned for the Four Collectors future? So I joined in after the channel was established. I served as the new replacement for James Elite Hunters. He had to step away, so I was invited by Theo, John, and Caesar, and so yeah, it's great. It's kind of nice to have a collective group of people that I've gotten to know a lot better. And again, it's one of my goals was to be more collaborative with people. And it's great to get to know Theo, John, and Caesar, and it'll be great to see them, see Theo again, and see John. And we definitely have some cool stuff. I know we have the card that I think we're giving out a card. John can correct me, but if he's still here, we're going to give out a card. And I don't know about a sticker, but definitely a card we have, I think, in the works. But a lot of that, a lot of the strategies and planning, I think, kind of fall mostly on John and Theo's shoulders, as they're kind of they kind of have the not the deeper focus. It's because that's not the right word. Because we all have a focus into it, but they definitely are planning a lot for the future of the channel. Great question. Dylan, you're killing it solo. I know it's usually I kind of stumble when I do solo, and I really enjoy hanging out with a bunch of people. But I hope that we can get some people involved. Got to run. If I win it, it's money for Strongsville. Good luck, Jason. I hope you win big, man. Oh, that's so cool, Eddie Matthews. Dry cleaning card. Didn't I remember sending you a photo of it, I think, or was it the advertisement I sent you when I was in upstate New York? I went to an antique shop and I saw these prints, and one of them was the Mathewson. Like it was. I don't know if it was dry cleaning. It was like a shirt that he was endorsing. Stuke, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you again as well. The bins can be, yeah. Take it from Dirk. Dirk is a full-time traveler, man. That guy is the traveling man. Spick and span dry cleaning card. Did you buy? Yes, which one? For instance, you see, okay. For instance, you see the transagram at table 1, but there's 100 tables. I can't buy it right away. I'm gonna. Uh, I can't say the same thing because I bought a transagram at the county center show immediately and spent the rest of the time kind of just walking around. I was talking about the huge. Yes, so I'll show that, Dylan. Just if you don't, I'll. You know what? Dylan's asking. I will show it because I think Dom is mentioning. Okay, hang tight. I gotta reach down and grab it. This is the one I think Dylan's asking about. This is the 1912 S81 silks. You're asking about this one, Dylan? I gotta try to not get the glare, but this one's a really special one to me. It's up there as one of my favorites to have in my collection. Just leave it down here for now. VG, yeah, awesome, man. I'm glad people are subscribing to your channel. 20 subs in 30 minutes 2 days ago. I said thanks for 20 subs, and now you're killing it. Lager. Oh, I thought you were talking about my lager. Lager. I'm out. See you later. See you, Lager Griff. Good to see you again, man. Vintage Goat's blowing up, man. I'm making it like this is a vintage. This is a live stream for Vintage Goats, a campaign for him, partially a campaign. All right, just catching up. If you say Mike Petty's name 3 times, he'll show up on screen. If he miraculously has the link to this live stream, Mike Petty, Mike Petty, Mike Petty. Are you still planning on sticking with SGC? I definitely am. I don't see myself changing over to PSA. So yes, Team SGC all the way. After that Johnny Padres reprint thing, I'm definitely sticking with SGC. Oh, good. That was something else. The S7, yeah, it belongs in a museum. Thank you. I remember texting you guys about it on the net. Like we have that texting group, and I was at the Garfield show. Yeah, let me bring it back into the picture. So I remember being at the Garfield show, and one of the dealers had this, and he was reluctant on selling it because he wanted to bring it to Philly, and he'll be at the Philly show too. And so I made him an offer, and he sold it to me. And I remember asking you guys for advice on it, if what's a good price, because there weren't that many that sold. So it was great to get your advice on it, Orlando, Dom. You guys were pivotal in getting me to buy it. So excuse me, it was great. Tad Foot. I said, I'm watching your channel, enjoy the content. When you are adding inventory, do you go for the hobby well-knowns? This is a great question because I'm always learning as far as what's best to buy, and there's some young dealers out there that are they're doing well. On the Four Collectors channel, I did a live stream. Was it a live stream? No, it was a recorded video with 2 young dealers, one named Micah Berman and another young dealer who we know as a content creator, Garrett from Ballpark Memories. And Garrett had some great advice because he mentioned if you're in a certain range of like financial range for selling, it's best to kind of stick with certain valued cards to kind of build up, because it doesn't make sense to go after a 56 mantle and pay $600 for a low grade one, and and then you won't really have much else to spend. So yeah, as far as replenishing inventory, I will go after Mays, Aaron, and Mantles, but they're going to be late 60s cards, and because that gives me the best margins to try to, I can put that into my high tier stuff in my display case, and then have a little bit extra to spend on mid tier stuff. So yeah, I mean, I will spend if I spend money on Mantle, Maze, or Aaron, it's going to be in like the $100 to $200 range max for inventory. But yeah, it's a great question. It really depends on where I am at that time. So right now I'm good on mantles. I'm not going to be buying unless the deal is unbelievable, because I have some mantles in my display case. Mays I'll be looking for, Aaron's I'll be looking for, but some of the later years, not some more of the like early 50s or early 60s. Andrew, Sammy, do you think the Fanatics will start grading cards buying an already existing company? Is their main focus on the modern cards? Do you think they will even consider competing with the National? I don't know. I don't really know much about Fanatics. I don't really pay much attention to them, so I don't want to give you a false answer. So I'm just going to say I don't know. Trader Griff's, I'm 8 subs away from 100. All right, new campaign along with Vintage Goats. Let's get Griff to 100. That's easily accomplishable tonight. What are your thoughts on the AI grading? I don't know much about it. I guess it started. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Mookie's asking, are you submitting any SGC cards tomorrow? I should at least bring some with me that I'll submit. I do have some that I've considered slabbing just because I want to. So yeah, I might have some stuff I'll bring with me tomorrow. I'll look at what I have before I go to bed tonight and figure something out. 21 subs in almost 40 minutes, almost doubled my sub count. Incredible. I love that. Brand, thank you so much for coming, man. If you're still here, I appreciate you coming by and just hanging out and chatting with us. Dirk subbed to Trader. Let me go back in time again. Dirk Remington. Dirk was someone else who I was watching. So Lee from Criterion Racer, Dirk Remington, and The Past is Alive. Those are 3 channels I started watching early on. Dirk is, again, guy who travels, looks to go to like everywhere from like card shops to Cracker Barrels to find cards. I'll be happy with 50 subs, and I'll also be happy if Griff hits 100. Two goals that I think we can accomplish tonight. Either one will be great. I think I caught up in the chat. That's phenomenal. So it took a little bit, but you know what? I think we can start inviting people now. So I'm going to leave the link in the chat. And if any of you guys want to come in, jump on in. Because we got 53 people, which is great. I'm glad you guys are hanging out with me here and just kicking it. I have my stack of cards here, which if somebody jumps on, I'll kind of stop. But I'll start with a little story. What questions would you have? Let's see. Andrew's asking, what questions would you have for your viewers? I think I just, I want to appeal to everybody for when I do my card show videos. I want to try to, pivot, make sure my channel is geared towards the enjoyment for everybody. So I guess I would ask, like, what do you guys want to see from my channel that can better your experience? I think that's something that, I definitely inquire from time to time internally. I don't really ask it outwards too often, but yeah, I would love to know, like, what sort of videos can I do that you guys would enjoy, that maybe I can dive into, because I can always use more creative input. I mean, room is a mess, and I don't feel like cleaning it, so I won't join. That's okay, VG. Let's help you get to your accomplished goals tonight. I ever thought of collecting Heartland statues from the 50s and 60s? I'm not so much a statues collector. I have a few things that I have, but I'm not big into collecting statues. So I'm going to say no. Plainville, I've heard, is phenomenal with vintage, and I bought a lot of stuff off the Plainville promoter because he was set up at one of the Orange shows I went to. And great guy, by the way. Really, really great stuff that he had for amazing deals. What's the Semi Thunder target list top 5 between now and the National? What's the Semi Thunder Grill? 54 Stahlmeyer Mays, the 75 Super Stand-Up Laughlin of Tom Seaver or Willie Mays. Oh man, I had a list. I updated it recently. Let me come back to you in a second on that. I know those are my 2. Ooh, some other ones. There's something. Yeah, I gotta look again. I don't have the list in front of me. I should know it off the top of my head, but those are the two that come to mind. So I have to come back to you on that one, John. Andrew, I would say make content you want to see. If it's card show videos, that is good too because you enjoy them, and that's one of the things that I like to do is I like to make videos that I would enjoy, and so I don't consider myself an analyst. I don't think that I have the uh, understanding. I've done a couple of videos analyzing and just showing how cards have changed in pricing over the years, but yeah, I just try to focus on the fun. Not that analyzing is not fun, but I try to focus on the stuff like the card shows, shops, and such. So awesome! Congratulations, Griff. Tad, I'm happy to answer, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Enjoy being famous so far. Enjoying being famous so far. Yeah. VG, man, we gotta get. I'm glad we're kind of speeding this along for you. Congrats, everybody. Congrats to VG for getting there, and to Griff as well. Matt is asking any insight on how you successfully obtain a kitchen pass to go to shows nearly every week. That's good for a friend. Having kids, not having kids is one of the key things. Um, just making sure you balance your time with your family. That's another key thing. But I have a family. My wife is very understanding of my collecting, and she loves the fact that I have this hobby as well as other hobbies, and so yeah, it's good to have that support. Andrew, but remember to not take any my advice or opinions. Only listen to YouTubers, and even then, maybe not your instincts or your instincts, but you are open-minded to change when it happens. Yeah, instincts are instincts. That rings true. We babysit for Matt so that he can do more shows. Asking for a friend. It would require quite an itinerary to get there. Oh man. Okay, guys. Let's see. What else did Sammy? Strong bond. Yeah, absolutely. Mm. And we always make plans to do things outside of cards. Because obviously that's something that I do for myself. And so, but we always make sure that we have time to do things. So the first card, let me do something real fast here. Okay, so I wanted to show you at least one card because the display case is obviously missing, and I'm kind of surprised that only one or two people acknowledge that because I have the whole stack in front of me. Okay, Andrew's asking, what are some of your hobbies outside of this hobby? So you can't really see it because my back is blocking it, but I'm blocking it. But I was, or still am in some ways, a musician. I do a lot of like electronic style music. So I have like analog synthesizers from the 80s, drum machines from the 80s, and some stuff that was relaunched in a more modular form. So I haven't done much music stuff as of late, but every now and then I like to tinker around with the stuff that I have. It requires a lot of time and effort to do it, but it's always fulfilling, and it's something that I've done. Bring on the profit. Dirk is saying, bring on the profit. I don't have a profit. That's too big that's way too big. Guitars for me, yeah. I mean, music is a great outlet. So to go back to your question, Andrew, yeah, music. I love to kayak. I have one of those, the origami kayaks that kind of fold up, and it's really kind of folds up into like an architect's bag, and it's great to have in a New York City closet. So I like to do that. Bird watching is another big hobby of mine. I like to go out there with binoculars and find some rare and unique birds. Kind of goes along with my love for rare and unique cards. So one thing I'll mention, and I'll go back to cards, I promise. If you go out and you find an owl, do not tell anybody else where the owl is, because for the health and safety of owls, because they depend on the daytime to sleep, and if they don't get their proper sleep, they will not be good hunters. So anyway, back to card stuff. Um, do you buy the music cards, the panini? No, I don't buy any stuff like that. How many cards are in your PC? I believe you mentioned previously that you downsized quite a bit. Is there a sweet spot you're trying to stay at? No sweet spot. I have, like, let's see. I have my stack here, which I haven't shown yet. I have two small tubs of stuff, and that's really it. I'd say less than 100 cards, probably, if I had to guess. Same with the peeper. Sammy Thunder Hagar, absolutely. Bird watching is the best. I figured Dylan would be into that. You know, Dylan, you've got to see some really exotic birds out in Hawaii. I see owls off my deck. That's awesome. Alfred Hitchcock, huge birds fan. I don't know if I guess he was, right? I guess he really likes birds. I do love Hitchcock's movies as well. Huge Hitchcock fan. I like my favorite Hitchcock movie is probably oh god, why am I forgetting it? North by Northwest. It's my favorite one, probably. Strangers on a Train is pretty good too. I do like that one. So, first card I wanted to show you guys is to give you the fun little fact about the Transagram Nolan Ryan, the 1970 Transagram Mets. So, to give you some insight on this card, this was Nolan Ryan's first Transagram card. I don't think it might be his only one, but let me present something for you guys so I can. So the Transagrams, if you're unfamiliar with them, came in this box. They had the front, which had the figurines, and the nice thing about the Transagram cards is in that particular year of 1970 is they celebrated the championship that the Mets won in 1969. So if you collected the Amazing Mets Transagram collection, you would get three figurines on the front, and on the back you'd have the cards that cut them out. Now it's an obnoxious cutout because you can see right here. It's just you have to cut if the box is not folded. But even if it's not folded, it would be obnoxious to cut this out. You'd have to literally puncture like the perforation area to kind of get a proper cut, and it would make it very difficult. So it's no surprise that these Transagrams are probably not in great shape because where the Ryan is located is in such a tough spot to get proper, and it would probably result in a lot of the creases that you see, especially in mine. I think mine has a crease on the upper left-hand corner, which would make a lot of sense. It's not really focusing too well on it, but that's you get my drift, I think. So, yes. Let's see. Goats actually doubled my sub count. Crazy milestone for me. Awesome. Semi-shrunk to the size of the side panel photos on the Transagram box. It's a good analogy. I think I did. I have one of those side panels too. I'll show that if I can find it. My raw pile of cards. Let me see. Where is that? Where is the side panel card? It's somewhere here. Ah, here it is. Just found it. There it is. I shrunk down to the size of the Seaver side panel. Yes. This I picked up for 20 bucks. I was super stoked to find this one because not only did I get the Transagram of Seaver, but I got the side panel as well at the same show. Sorry, it's not focusing very nicely. Maybe I need to put it in front of my face. it's a lost cause. My camera has not been doing very well. It's sick. It's probably very sick. Let's see. Andrew's asking, what are you looking forward to MLB upcoming season? Tell us why the Orioles are winning the World Series. If the Orioles win the World Series, my wife will be very happy because it's Baltimore. I'm not looking forward. I'm just looking forward to another, so-so season with the Mets. I'm hoping they can win, be 500 by the end of the season. But with Senga hurt, I have my doubts. Braves are going 162-0 and winning the World Series 97-0. Oh man, just want to say I love your new logo. Did you design it? I actually found it online on a royalty-free page, and I decided to use it. I think it's been downloaded 17 times by other people, so it might be a logo for some like Little League team as well. Ray from Philly, how's it going, man? I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hopefully, we can bump into each other. So that'd be cool. Mangini posted, "Do I leave or no?" Why is Mangini not here? I didn't go today. I'm going tomorrow. What do you remember about meeting Tom Seaver? I didn't meet Tom Seaver. My dad met Tom Seaver. Just hoping my Marlins do better than the Mets. And the reaction. So, oh boy. Good stuff all around. Always wonder what your hat's from. This is the Bowie Bay Sox, the AA team of the Baltimore Orioles. Yes, I will see you tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event. You'll meet Mookie Chilson as well, but you can't take pictures of him. Otherwise, he needs to be a secret content creator. It's just how he is. Ah, that's all good, Andrew. Yeah, it's a good photo. Let's see. Anybody want to join? Feel free to join if anybody wants to. We're at 45 viewers, which is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for, coming to hang out with me tonight. It is always a special event. Let's see some other stuff. I'll show this one. My Hank Aaron rookie card. This one I bought graded. Amazing. One of my 54 is such a beautiful looking set, and it has everything you'd want out of a card. The comics on the back, the green, the great bio information, and the comics on the bottom. Makes it a really special card. Let me see if I think I have something on this, on the Hank Aaron card. Let me see if I can pull it up. I wanted to try to give like one special fact about each card. So give me a second. I'm going to see if I can pull it up, but I'm not finding it for whatever reason. No, not that one. Well, anyway, it is a very special card. 54 has the 3 rookies, including Hank Aaron. Who else is in there? That's Al Kaline and Ernie Banks. There's some other big names too, like Tommy Lasorda, I think, as well, his rookie card. So it's a really cool one. I know everybody. Let's see. Andrew says my Grail card would be a 55 Koufax, but you never go wrong with Aaron. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with either one of those guys, to be honest with you. Orlando, that's okay, man. I understand. This has been going really well. So the solo drive has been going really, really well. Bergen County here, man. Yeah, you're not too far. This one I think y'all have seen repeatedly on my channel. The 59 Bob Gibson. And I bought this one raw at a show I was set up at. And I thought I was going to get a higher grade than a 5, but I'm I'm pleased with I'm pleased with just having it in the slab. So the back of it, it mentions Bob's nickname was Hoot, and also mentions that he played with the Harlem Globetrotters, which is a kind of a fun fact that maybe not everybody knows. He was optioned to Omaha in April. But what's really nice is the choice of the Pepto Bismol pink color kind of helps bring this card out. I don't know if it would have the same effect if it was another color. Let me just catch up with some folks here. EP says, I'm a Babe Ruth card away from completing the 48 exhibit set. Any advice on finding it other than eBay? Tried CMC, smaller place to offer up. I'm not the best person to ask. The chat would probably be helpful, I think, for exhibits. I've never collected an exhibit card, so. But yeah, Andrew says like maybe an auction house would be great. Vintage show EP, yeah. Strongsville will definitely have something like that. Yankees and Giants. Has anyone ever opened a vintage Christmas repack? I've never opened one. I've only watched them on channels being opened, and I've seen them in person. But Gibson has good color and registry. I think so. You should upload some tracks you wrote. I have about 14 raw tracks I recorded years ago. Uploaded that. I wrote TR808. Wow. I have a TR909. TB303 is, I mean, talk about acid, the acid synth. That is it. Thank you, Dylan. I knew it would get your approval. Net 54 is also a good choice for stuff like that. That's definitely true. All right, I got something special for you guys. Shown this before, but probably haven't shown it in quite some time. The Mickey Mantle 56. Based on, I'm not a huge Mickey Mantle collector, but I knew it was probably good to have at least one Mickey Mantle card in your collection. So this one is it. I can't afford to get the 52 Mantle, obviously, or the 53 Mantle for that reason, for that being. So the 56 Mantle is my next best choice, and this one is, to me, it's a beautiful card. This one, I know the Mantle has always been tough to have good centering on it, and let me see if I can pull up. I had something about this card, if I can find it. The back design. So yeah, I'm just going to reiterate, or everything about this card is perfect. The headshot of Mantle, which is true. The great smile, leaping catch on the background. Even the nameplate in the upper left corner. So the yellow and red. So there's the goat of the hobby. Yeah, this is the goat, I guess. So this is my Mantle. It's a gray back, but it's a nice one to have. At least everybody should have at least one Mantle card, I think. I'm just catching up with you guys here. Dylan, come on the stream and show your shiny cards. I think it's safe this time. Yeah, you're good, Dylan. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome to. When Dylan says it looks good, it is good. It's becoming a running gag with Dylan and centering. I think it's pretty funny, actually. Dylan is the king at buying the card, not the grade. Nice on the 909. Acid King, yeah. Richie Houghton is definitely the Acid King. I think I'm a better go, to be honest. Now you need to come out with a card, VG. Oh, man. I have a 62 Mantle 6.5. That's pretty nice. I know those cards are tough, too. I'll show you the next one. This one I got at the National last year. The 55 rookie card of Roberto Clemente. I'm trying to get this to focus for y'all, but fortunately it's just not budging. If I go a little closer, maybe. Just hold it very steady. Anyway. Yeah, this one I bought at the National last year, and I bought it raw, and I got it graded. And it's hard to see, but on his forehead, it has HK on it for Hell's Kitchen. No, I don't know. Maybe the initial owner of this card wrote on it, marked his head, which is a shame, but it's still a great card regardless. So it's okay. It is what it is. It is probably Mangini heaven. Andrew says, I think Mickey Mantle resonates with a lot of people because near end of his life, he was transparent that he struggled being a role model and felt he let his fans down. Yeah, I mean, Mantle's legacy is carried on in so many different forms. I think it helps also that he was a Yankee, so there's a lot that kind of ties to it. I was 11. The three players I thought were the greatest were Aaron, Mays, and Clemente. I mean, good crowd, a good company of players to have. Next one, this one I bought off of eBay. I bought it raw. The Nolan Ryan 69 tops, one of my favorites in my collection. One thing I noticed about Nolan Ryan is that he smiled like in some of his later cards, but you never really saw him smile early on, and this is like the closest thing to a smile. And it's a great pose. They used this one on his Transagram as well. But this one graded a 5. I think I bought it for like $200 raw on an auction on eBay like years ago. But it's a great card. Would you consider that as a rookie card or not? Which one? The 55? Are you talking about the 55? Clemente? I got a victim. I've got a victim. He's jumping on. I got Stooge to join me.
Yeah, couldn't leave you lonely, man.
Mr. Staven Sports Cards. You got to switch.
How we doing, man?
Dom Mana. Are you changing your channel name now?
Yeah, I can switch it.
No, I don't care. I'm just busting chops. You've come to save me from blabbing.
Yeah, I figured you need your vocal cords for your press conference tomorrow at the Philly show, so I'm stepping up for the sake of the community.
Press conference? I'm not doing no press conference. I'm just doing. I'm walking with Mookie. Mookie's doing a press conference.
Yeah, you have to be his interpreter.
Yeah, that's true. I have to. I don't know if he's still here. Let me see.
He's always in a live chat somewhere, so if he's not here, he'll be back.
He's lurking in the wild. But no, this is good. I mean, it got to the point now where the questions kind of died down, which is fine. So it kind of gives an opening for people to join in. So yeah, he is lurking. Here he is. I'll put the invite out again. Listen, man, I'm hoping I can get Rick Vintage Oddball Cards to join. I know he just left a comment here, and I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like my collection, but I mean, come on, Rick. Let's get that beautiful golden face of yours on here.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, he's notorious for not doing live streams, but yet I saw him like a day after making that claim on the Misfits live stream, which is understandable given that he's a misfit. But I'm just putting it out there, Rick. Please join. I'd love to pick your brain. I mentioned this earlier on. So anyway, I'm just kind of reading the comments. Sammy is Mookie's bodyguard. I'm nobody's bodyguard. Are we all losers on YouTube or on a Friday night? I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
No, man, you've been doing a great job, and you finally started showing some cards, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I know.
You were showing the transagrams, so I figured for scale to show people.
That's the box. Yeah. Is that the whole thing? The figurine?
Yeah. So there's the top panel.
Yes.
And there's the little figurine.
Very nice. Why the Frank Robinson? It's just opportunity came?
Yeah, I got this for a really good price, but outside of Carl Yastrzemski, Frank Robinson's probably my most collected player. I love his story. His cards are very fairly valued for how significant he is in the history of the game. And, he's right in that golden age of cardboard, as we like to talk about it, with the 50s through the 70s. So there's a lot of great stuff of him in the oddball stuff that me and you appreciate as well. So
Yeah, that's I don't know if I'll find myself getting into collecting the figurines. I think I kind of just more
Hmm.
enjoy the cards themselves, but it's really nice to see them if
Hmm.
somebody has them. I don't know if Stuke is still here, but I am on I think I might have to gift Stuke something special. I don't. I think he's going to Strongsville, but if not at Strongsville, then at the National. But I'll leave it as a surprise because just gotta keep it secretive.
Now I'm looking forward to that, man. There's not a lot of things that Scott doesn't have, so
He
it'll be
probably
pretty cool
has
to
what I'm gonna
see
give him already, but
what you come
we'll
up
see.
with for him.
Just gonna leave. Join the madness. Just letting people know if they want to join in. Uh, yeah, I wonder where Mike Petty went, but I think if Mike Petty joined the live stream, I'd lose. I would lose. Not. I would just. What is it? Well, I was thinking because I think for paid videos, you can't have people swearing left and right. But this is going to be. I think this one's not going to be that way. I would, yeah. You know what? I would lose my thunder. There you go.
Yeah, and
Ah,
we were talking.
yes, that's encouraging.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, Rick. Honestly, man, joking jokes aside, I really do want to pick your brain on stuff because the only time I really get to experience your to experience anything is watching your videos and leaving comments. But obviously, it's not a direct conversation. It's kind of just more indirect. If Scott doesn't have it, he's had it. It's true.
That's also true. He's moved some crazy items before too.
Ah,
And I
yes,
was talking to Frank Robinson in our latest collab over on our buddy Greg's channel. You talked about this piece that I picked up at the
yes,
National, and I
great
absolutely
piece.
love it. Jet Magazine talking about him being baseball's first black manager. It's got this gorgeous cigarette ad on the back as well.
Very
It's just really
flashy
cool,
looking.
like stuff like this compared to the Topps cards that you can find at every table. Like it's super awesome.
It's very flashy looking. Yes. Um, what are you doing any card stuff this weekend, or is it an off weekend for you?
Yeah, there won't be any card shows for me this weekend. I'm kind of taking things easy. As you know, I'm trying to save up for my Willie Mays autograph as well as hoping to make Cleveland work this summer. So I'll pick and choose my spots where I kind of go to a card show, and it'll be more so bargain hunting and kind of just decompressing than it will be hunting for anything big.
I hear you. What kind of Willie Mays autograph on a ball on a photo?
I want something with him pictured in a Giants uniform. That's kind
Okay.
of like the only stipulation. I don't really care if it's a lithograph, a photograph, a card, but just not Mets. and
Okay.
I'll be happy with that. I want a nice, bold example of his signature. He's getting up there in age. I personally think he's the greatest player to ever put on a baseball uniform. So
I agree.
I'm prioritizing that this year while he's still with us.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta show you something. You've already seen it already, but it's his worst card ever.
65?
No, not that. It's not even like a card, but it's like the worst photo of him ever. Whoever decided this, they
Oh, for Mays.
imagine going up to him and like, hey, will you sign this? Like
Yeah, that's a rough one.
it's a rough one. I love it. I do love it though. I mean, every other player from that set, like look at the Nolan Ryan. You get the feel that he's throwing 110 miles per hour like he thought he did.
Hmm.
And then like Bill Russell, not in a unit, not a popular card, but at the same time, just that's Bill Russell. Like
That's
just
suave. Yeah.
yeah, and he was always that guy. He was always that kind of way, I think. And then you get the famous one of Tom Seaver with dragging his knee. So pretty cool. But Willie Mays, they did him dirty on that one.
No, definitely.
So Yeah, it looks like Sosa. It does look like Sammy Sosa. I never thought about that. Oh man. But yeah, I was hoping to give some people the thought that I was robbed, but no.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, what's been going on with you, man?
Yeah, man, just another great week. A lot of great hobby content to consume. My watch later is always full of stuff. And it was funny enough, I was watching your video about like how to tackle the Philly show right before you went live on here. And I was just like,
Mhm.
well, Sammy's live now. I'll go back to this later. And I clicked
Oh
on.
yeah. No, it's there's really not much to it. I mean, I kind of just I kind of thought maybe it would be fun to kind of revisit an old video. I will say, and I love listening to podcasts when I'm driving to shows because it usually takes me an hour before I get to like Milford or Fishkill or any of those shows. I love listening to the podcasts that people do, and you had I listened to yours. I mentioned this earlier, but I listened to yours regarding the like the catchers with between you and Jake. That was a lot of fun to listen to. I don't know how much research you did, but it sounds like you really took a lot of time to put that together because it flew so nicely.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Cracking Cooperstown. It's on Spotify for audio only people, as well as over on our buddy Jake's channel, Legends Never Die. I have the playlist saved on my channel as well too. But
Mhm.
the videos get posted over on his, and we talk about Hall of Fame voting, trajectory, and collecting. And with Joe Mauer's first ballot induction, we dived into what does the future of the Hall of Fame catching position look like, because Joe Mauer wasn't a Yogi Berra like case where he caught
Ooh,
for 20 years and won a bunch of MVPs. So this is 52 Star Cal decal. So
that was definitely not scripted.
now I have a whole pile of stuff next to me, and I love the back of this because it literally tells you to put a tape frame around it on your wall or to put
Mhm.
it on your trash can. So
Oh,
that's what they were directing kids to do with these works of art.
yeah. I've seen I've seen the decals a lot, but I never. I was thinking about wanting to getting the maze, but I never. It hasn't spoken to me nearly as much as some other stuff. But the decals are they're really cool to look at. They are really cool. I just want to give Vintage Goats 46 subs. Is that
Oh man,
46 subs total now, or is that
I'd
40?
assume so.
That's crazy. I love it. I love when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, as
Very
soon as he
nice.
said 23, I immediately looked him up and subbed and started the train going. It was
It's
fun.
remarkable. And I think Griff got past 100. So if
Mhm.
we can get 50 for VG, that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
And Miss just made a nunchuck video and obliterated my ceiling light. Not good to nunchuck after happy hour.
Please say you're
Okay, buddy.
recording, John. That would be great.
Oh, so Mike Petty's still around.
Sweet.
Petty, man, feel free to join. So I'm leaving the link again so that you don't have to scroll all the way up and try to find it. But yeah, if he joins, I'm gonna take a quick not break. I'm not gonna leave the stream. Like I'm not gonna cancel the stream and end it. But I have a refill. I have another one of these beers that I need to grab. Zadie's, really good beer, by the way.
Sweet.
Phenomenal tasting beer. Uh, Let me see if I can show another card here and provide some insight on it. I think I showed a bunch of these already, but okay. Here's a good one. This one came from the Philly show. The first time I went, the I'll make it solo. One second, solo layout. If I can get this to focus, because I think it's my camera has been very fidgety. If anyone can give me some insight on why the camera doesn't want to focus well lately.
Yeah, it's not your phone camera, right? It's
No, it's one of like a Logitech camera that I use. If
okay.
I go back,
Yeah, I'd look into the settings on that when you're
There we go.
offline.
Yeah, I probably need to adjust the sensitivity.
I
But
think
yeah,
so too.
so this one, the Mathewson, the Centennial stamp, I found this at the Philly show, and I knew I never really see this that often at other shows, and so when I found this at a table, I figured, it didn't go for huge money, so I figured let's jump on it. Let's definitely do it because it has so much appeal to it in terms of the color of it with the yellow and such detail around the border of like the yellow border. They have little symbols of baseball gear and supplies, and then inside you have the red background and the arc or the arch with Mathewson as the focal point. But yeah, these stamps, I don't really see them too often. They're not incredibly valuable. I mean, they're valuable, but they're not like they're not at the top tier of Mathewson stuff. But it definitely kind of it has a nice collecting appeal to it for any Mathewson collector. So I'm gonna go with that as being the appeal for this particular collectible.
That's definitely a cool piece.
Yeah.
And the iconic players like Mathewson, it'll be decades after their playing days were over, and pieces like that will still have that kind of demand. So that's a great one.
Absolutely. I mean, especially talking about pieces after their career is over, you got to have to show this one. This one also came from the first Philly show I went to. I know that Mangini's a big fan of this set. We've had this conversation before, but the 51 tops Connie Mack All Stars, Christy Mathewson. My big thing here, I don't care if the grade's authentic. I just want to make sure that it's still together and not the perforation is not completely torn. And that was the key thing for me to get this so that the whole card has great color to it. The reason why I guess it got authentic is that it has the paper loss on the front, maybe some tape, yeah, some tape as well. Um, so nevertheless, nice piece to have. Good set as well if you're looking to collect Hall of Famers for kind of a smaller, lower value, not wanting to break the bank, but still have a nice big card in your collection.
Absolutely, those are great. And I think that any card where there's some sort of like pop out element to it, whether it's cutting off like a tab or
Oh yeah,
popping it out of a thing like that, like just those are just an extra layer to collecting because there'll be different versions of the card just because that's how it was supposed to be used, not somebody damaging it necessarily.
I think also having that nice tab on the bottom,
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same effect when the tab is removed. I mean, I have the let's see, I like it's I mean it's nice, it's a nice piece to have, but at the same time you lost the tab and the color is really dissipated over time,
yeah, it can get that
so
way.
it doesn't hold the same weight in terms of having the entire piece. But still, I totally understand what you're saying.
But yeah, if they still have the color though without the tab, I'm still in. So
Larry Doby, yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean, still looks great. I haven't really
literally tells you on
collected.
the bottom to cut it off.
Yeah, I haven't really collected a lot of the Redmans. I know they're good pieces. I mean, they're. I'm a big fan of colorful designs of cards
Mm-hmm.
and the way they look. Even if there's an abundant of them, or if they're rare and unique. Um, I like the way certain cards look. So the Redmans have always kind of struck that chord with me. But it's very cool. Let's see. Just trying to see who's. Apparently, Mangini wants you to look at his
Yeah,
trivia question.
he called me out on something
Let me go back
from
up in time. Let me see what he's complaining about.
If it's Mangini trivia.
I just picked up a Jake Taylor card. What's his significance?
Oh, man.
You're on the spot now.
That's a very generic name too.
Well, I think Mangini needs to come on now and show the card.
Yeah, I'd appreciate the history lesson.
Oh man,
if that's not the guy from Major League.
Well,
wasn't that the star character?
Hold on, we're gonna be
It was something Taylor for Major League. I thought it was Jake Taylor.
Yeah, it is Jake Taylor, the catcher from the Indians. We're gonna be breaking ground here. Oh man, I can't believe this.
Let's go.
I convinced him.
Oh wait, Rick's on. You got to show Willie Mays. Oh,
he's got to. Oh yeah.
There we go. Willie, I don't have that one.
You don't have the greatest moments?
No.
I didn't even know this was a thing. You're putting me on the spot now.
Those are expensive.
They can be for sure. Yeah.
Oh man, why are my Willie Mays so low?
About his 3,000 hit on the back.
Yeah, those are cool.
All right, I'll show the one that I really like.
Yep, I don't have that one really like. The test issue.
Well, now that Rick's here, I guess Mangini it'll make getting Mangini on here even easier.
Oh, definitely.
Good to see you, Rick.
I got the Yastrzemski.
Yes.
Well, Triple Crown. And Veda Pinson, who I really love.
Yeah.
So, Rick, are you going to Strongsville, or is it just the national for you?
I'm in California, so plus I'm going to be going to the national, which is kind of crazy I would love to, but it's it's just too far.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a while ago, I'm just going to kind of mention this. I texted Rick because I came into a sale of what was it? Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It was an item that was given out during to commemorate Matheson.
Yeah, I'll show you. I have it right here. 1 second, I'll go get it.
It's phenomenal. But the problem with well, I'm gonna wait till Rick gets back to showcase it. But it's such a cool piece. And I asked Rick about it because he has one, and if there's one person who will know Matheson stuff, it's going to be Rick. Yeah, I'm going to solo this because I mean, what a piece. What do they call this again?
It's
like a disc.
Like a disc, or they gave them out at the game. It's a benefit. It was a memorial benefit game for Maddie, and you would have a string here that you could tie it to your shirt or whatever on the back.
Yeah, that was really cool. Put a ball over the plate for Maddie. Now
the problem are these are easy to duplicate. I mean, they're round, the copy. So there's not that these are a lot of these, but there's some fakes out there. So it's hard to. You really have to know someone. Before I bought this, I had it kind of checked out. I still don't know. You just don't know. But it wasn't too expensive, so I thought it kind of a unique item.
Yeah.
And so when Sammy showed me his, I just don't. I don't know if it's legit. You just need to buy it from someone that that. So I thought it was kind of cool being a Matheson collector. So
yeah, I mean, I guess if you think about it, if that was given out during a game, that means that there's I don't know how many seats were in the Polo Grounds. I know there was a lot, but maybe 30,000 more, something like that. I don't know how many seats are in the Polo Grounds.
Yeah, I know one of the auction houses. You probably when I was doing some research myself, I think they had like 10 of them maybe that they were selling 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I was trying to compare to, and then I relied on someone just before I purchased it. So
it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy to authenticate something like that. But I think they
not at all.
They do grade them though. I think I remember seeing.
Do they really?
I remember seeing one online that was graded by SGC, but
Huh.
It's few and far between, I
And
think.
I don't even know if they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I mean, you're just getting an opinion, which counts, but you know, I don't, you know, for something like that, who knows, you know?
yeah, it's a remarkable piece because it has a lot of history to it, and I think if I remember when I looked that up, like Mathewson's was his wife was there and at the game, and it was they had like a standing ovation for him, and the family was on the field. So
Yeah,
um,
I've seen photos, you know, that of that game and so forth. I don't have one, but it's kind of cool. I'll show you something I just picked up. This is let's see right here.
let me solo you, Rick. Go ahead.
You can see this is a monument that's in the front there of Bucknell, um, I guess right in front of the university. And this is the gentleman, I guess, that worked on it.
Oh wow,
And it's kind of cool. It's a type 1 photo, but I thought it was kind of cool.
that is really cool, and that's so. I just want to understand a little bit. This is where this monument. This is in Cooperstown, or is this
No,
somewhere else?
no. What the college you went to Bucknell
Oh, of
University.
course, yes.
So I guess there's a big brick wall, and that it's right there at the front, I guess, of the university. I think it's at the front.
Okay, and so that was the
But
artist,
that
the
was the artist apparently that you know. So I thought it was kind of cool,
and
inexpensive. It
did you
was
find
like nothing, so I picked it up.
where did you find
Nothing's a
it?
good price.
I got it on eBay. eBay. I always search photos. You know, I have a search. I have a routine each night. So I have on eBay. I have it down to the years I'm looking for, the you know, whether it's raw or in a, you know, PSA, SGC, BVG, whatever. So I scroll down to any new cards. It takes me 5 minutes, you know, and really fast. Then I scroll down to the auction. Then I scroll to buy it now each night, you know. And I just go through that routine for the last how many years, you know, wherever I'm in. I could be in Hawaii, whatever. I'm on that thing looking, and sometimes you see something that interests you. Well, one of the things in my searches is photos, and so you know, if I find something, I also search auction houses. Have a list of all the auction houses. Not that I would even buy. I mean, I just like looking at stuff too, and prices. You know what things are going for, what it's sold for, so I kind of know in the future. It just so that's kind of my routine each night.
I actually have something. I'm gonna bring it up, and oh, here it is. I want you to. I want to know what you know about this because I
Okay, well,
think
let me
it's.
ask you this. I think I might know what it is. Is it a Maddie?
No, no, it's
Okay.
not. It's a Willie Mays
Okay.
item. I'm gonna show it because I don't want to. Hold on a second. Share screen. Tell me what. Do you know anything about this?
No,
The Bill portrait by Bill Bates.
no.
Yeah, it looks like this is the original envelope, and this is the portrait that was done. The seller on eBay is this guy named Dan McKee. I think it's McKee. Looks like he sells a lot of the like uh, some of the coolest stuff from like Maze and Maddie, but like has a huge store. But I was curious about that because I mean it's so intriguing the kind of like the orange background and it's just like the choices in the font the typeface. It's pretty cool looking. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, I mean, I know the seller. You know, he's at the National all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you look up Bill Bates to see who he is or what? Or?
You know, I saw it the other day. I just by chance, so I haven't really gotten a chance
Yeah.
to look at it. And I just thought of it now because I know that you mentioned the Type 1 photo, so I thought, this is a good thing. I should probably show to Rick and see what he knows about it.
So what I was going to mention, because I thought you were going to bring up, there's a very rare Matty in Leland's auctions that I think ends maybe this weekend, and it's an orange border Mathewson cut off the candy box, and you never see a Matty orange border. So I think there's one PSA, one's been graded. Maybe I never see them. I haven't seen one in 3,
What's the
4,
name of
5
the
years. And Dave, I text Dave Blue Jacket 66, and he's gonna follow it. I don't think he's gonna go for it, and I'm not gonna go for it. I'm out of money. If I had some money, I have to pay my taxes coming up next month. But I would. I mean, it's probably gonna go for a good amount, which I just don't want to kind of spend that money right now on something like that. But
what's the name of the card?
it's called an orange border. Orange border, Chrissy Mathewson. I think 1909, 10, 8, 9, 10.
Huh.
It's in Leland's auction.
Oh, okay. That's why. I was curious. I was looking on eBay thinking it was there.
And you just never see him. You see other players, but Forever and Mathewson, you just never see. But anyway, I thought you were going to mention that.
No,
it's kind of funny. I think all of us probably, even if you go to the National or whatever, you see something, God, I really want that. But the next month you see something else, you probably even want more.
I know.
And you go, why did I buy? You just never know what's going to come up that you might not see again for a long time. So
I just found it now. I'm going to bring it up. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Wow.
It's called an orange border.
I've never heard of this card actually. I've never.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe I came across it because. Yeah, go ahead.
You see a lot of them. John has probably has a few, but there's a team card of the Tigers that's cut, and multiple players, but you just don't, for whatever reason, Matty never comes up, and it's cut right off the box.
Interesting. I probably, because I went by the trading card database website, and you can search. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but you can search the name of a player and look at all the different possible cards that are out there of that particular player. Now, granted, it's not going to show you everything because it's really tough to track down every single Matthewson case there is, or any player for that matter. But I must have seen this at one point. It might be on their website, but
I wonder if it's in the. I don't know. It might be in PSA's set registry. I don't know, master set registry. I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time, but anyway, that's probably it's at 1,500 right now.
Yeah,
that's before the 20%. I'm guessing a couple years ago it'd probably go for 2,500. Now, I don't know. It could go up to between 2,500 and 5,000 maybe.
Too rich
the Wagner's probably, there's a Wagner that's probably 5,000 to 10,000 it would probably cost, but the Matty, so it's just I don't know. Like I said, there's somebody's gonna. I mean, because it's very, very scarce, rare, and it's a beater. It's a one. Most of those are like that, But it's kind of cool that it still has the orange border. A lot of them don't have the border on them. They cut it up. So. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. I mean, I'm just kind of like glancing over and looking at it.
Is John in the chat? He should go on. He has a couple. He has a team, but
yeah, I'm hoping John sees.
He was in the chat throwing trivia at me before. I don't know if he's still in.
Maybe he mentioned that he was doing a nunchuck video and he broke his ceiling light. So
yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Candy E issues like baseball bats. It's another one off a box. I have the Walter Johnson. That's really, I don't know. You have to be kind of those types of. I just like that kind of stuff. It's not for everyone, obviously. People are going to go, God, you spend that kind of much piece on cutting out, a piece of cardboard off a box. But I just like that kind of stuff.
It tells a story, I think, and it it's one of those things that is definitely. I mean, it's passed down over 100 years, and maybe it went from one hand to the next. I know it's so cliche to say that, but especially when you start going even further back in time, it's a player like Mathewson and just the stuff that was made back then. Outside of T206, you have such unique sets that were coming out in different places, and you couldn't get them everywhere. So, kind of adds a nice story to it.
Yeah. So,
but
I got some. You want to see some? Before I put it in the safety deposit box, I got some fire to show.
Absolutely.
So there's my 27 Montage.
Oh man,
I just did a video on it. No, let me apologize. This is the 1922 Montage. The American Caramel Company. They also have the one where he's holding the bird, holding the ball. A lot of people prefer this one. So I picked this one up. It's probably been a couple years ago. And then I saw this one. This is what I want. That's why I can't spend any more money. This is the 1927 Montage. And I like this one better. Just in person, it looks better. It has a number. You don't see that. This is the only time they put a number for the cards. It has a little gloss to it, a little bigger image. I'll shoot both of them together here. So most people see this one. This one, and don't realize that they think it's the same basically, or from the same set, because usually you don't see them together. And I'm going to call out John. John's my buddy, but he didn't even know. He was thinking he didn't know this one. This one existed. So it's pretty scarce to 27 because it was their last year. Oops, sorry, kind of missed. But anyway, it was their last year producing cards, 1927, and so they went out of business the next year. They went bankrupt, and so the pop on that's probably around total, maybe 30 total cards. So that one doesn't come up to auction very often. So I spent all my money on that.
But what about, is there that card in particular? What about in particular do you really, really like about it?
It's the only one where he has like a montage type photo to it, where you see multiple Ruth on the same card, so it's the only one in the set that's like that. And I think people, like I said, the 1922, they had the, holding a bird. You've seen that one, probably in pictures or whatever, and then he's holding a ball. I don't know, something about that card, and then also the scarcity of it too. Especially the 27 one. 22, I think I know Mike Petty just got one, the 1922, and also Orlando has one, the 22. But
I mean, definitely a lot of those cards. I mean, I know the company, like the American Caramel Company, and I've gotten to dive a little bit into some of that stuff, but always learning, and it's always intriguing to see cards like that. So, what's that? Someone have the TV on or something?
Not me.
Is that you, Don?
Probably not.
I don't know where that's coming from.
I heard that.
Yeah, it sounded like an announcer calling a fly ball or something.
I wish. Baseball season's still a couple weeks away.
This is what they, is the second year they came out with more of a tobacco size card. And it's pretty generic, as you can see, seeing these, and they just changed the jersey and changed the name basically. But I mean, the color and stuff's pretty cool, but pretty generic.
Yeah, those are. But yeah, it's just. What do you look for when you're adding to your collection? What are some of the important attributes to the cards you want to add to your collection?
Well, the Maddie, the one with that I just showed you, this one, totally miscut or off center, but I really like the color on it. I mean, everything about it's pretty nice except for the centering. Um, I mean, you could get this one. This one comes up for auction and stuff. I think this one where did I get this one anyway? I'm not sure if I got it at the National but sometimes I'll put in an offer that's low. And if I win it, I win it. If I don't think this is one of them. But I don't know. I'm not a centering snob when it comes to pre-war stuff. So
Now, I've asked, like I'll ask some of the guys that have been doing this for a long time, including yourself, and I'll ask Orlando. And do you guys do you share that same sentiment that if you see something at the show that you know that you probably won't see again, do you jump on the
Yeah.
opportunity, or do you pass by and go back?
No, I'll jump on the opportunity. I'll even pay more. I mean, what can you get? What can you do on this? I'll work with the guy, but I'll give in if it's something I really want. And he knows that. The person selling it knows that. They're not, these guys that they're even older than I am. They know what they have, and so they'll just hold it. So sometimes I'll just give in on stuff.
That's one thing that I always have to understand in those circumstances, that there's some stuff that you don't really see too often. And the one thing I always worry about is, did I spend way too much on something that I can get for cheaper later? And I think it's looking back on it, like I use the silks, the silk screen as my example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought this at the Garfield show, and I think I paid somewhere like 16 or 1700 for it. Um, and I advised with Dom and
Mhm.
with Orlando, and I was thinking, oh god, that's a lot of money to spend, like, on something that I did not plan on getting, but
Yeah.
it spoke to me at the time. So, but looking back on it, I'm glad I made the purchase, because
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean, you see, I have one too. I think I showed you mine. I think I paid, I don't know, maybe 1,000, but that was a few years ago. And
Mhm.
you see them here and there. But the thing you have to think about too is some of those you'll see in a 2 or a 3. That's 3, 4, $5,000. So you have to keep in your price range too. And there's very few of them. Just like the 27 Montage. This is a beautiful one, but okay, so let's say there's 30 of them total out there. I'm sure there's more of them that have not been graded, but let's say there's 30 of them out there. I see this one maybe once a year, something like that, and maybe it's in a 2 or a 3 or a total beater. So now I'm narrowed down. There's one that looks like this and a 1 that I can afford. There's maybe 2, 3, or 4 of them out there. You know what I mean? So it might never come up again. I'm not going to totally overpay, but I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning on those types of things. If it was like a 52 Mano, I can go on eBay. I can pick and choose. I can work this, that. But if it's something that is more scarce, then you got to make a decision. And you see it at the National, it might not be there. And if you ask the guy, the Misfits, or when I go, I'm like focused the first day. You might see me walk by. I don't. Hey, the people will go, "Hey, Rick," and it's not that I'm just like focused. So I'll get to the vintage area and I'll scope it out real quick, the first day. Literally, if I see, I missed out, and it wasn't a rare one, but I missed out on it was a T206 Cy Young, and first national I went to, it was $500 in a two, and I saw it, and I go, God, that's a good deal, but I didn't get it. I went back later, it was gone. And so and not that that was rare, but it was just such a good deal.
Sure.
First day that, I just could.
It's funny how we remember the
The
opportunities.
losses, right? The ones you don't pick up.
Dom, you've had those opportunities? You've had those experiences too, I'm sure.
No, definitely. And I think Rick made a beautiful point by saying, like, even if the total population is 20, 30, which is still not a lot, the amount that are available for sale and the amount that are available that you can afford, that shrinks that already small population down a lot. So this was my big pickup of the National this past summer. Lefty Gomez 1933 Warsh cigar.
Oh yeah.
And the majority of these are single digit pops for PSA.
Yeah.
So for me to get a Hall of Famer for sub $200 from this set, like I can't be that picky, but
no,
it
that is
displays
beautiful.
well. It's an awesome image.
I have the Lou Gehrig I picked up at the Nat. I traded actually a Gowdy Ruth, authentic Gowdy Ruth that somebody fixed a crease for a I don't know what grade it is, a 5 Gehrig. Those are in person they look just unbelievable.
Just gonna step away for a second. Keep going.
No, it's okay. The seller that had that one had a stack of them. So he had vintage and modern. He had a stack of like 8 Warsh cigars, and I'm like, hey, can I see these? And I flipped through, and he had a Lefty Grove on top, and the Lefty Gomez was underneath, and it was lower grade and lower price tag, which was fine with me. And I talked to John and told him what the asking price was, and he was like, "That's a great price." So I went back and I bargained with the guy, and I got it for $1.75, and I was thrilled.
No,
to get a Hall of Famer from that set for that price.
Are you kidding me? And the story of the cigar company, it's kind of just cool. Just the whole history about that stuff. And they're tough. You don't see them in any kind of high grade whatsoever.
Do you have any 34s?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any of the 34s?
They come in, what year do they come out in?
So the 32 Warsh cigars is the Minneapolis minor league team, and then the 34 Warsh cigars has like a black diamond.
Oh wait,
on the front.
I have. Shoot, I don't have it here. The darn thing, nowadays I keep stuff in the safe deposit box, and I don't. It does have the box. Mine has the box, right? Some have a box, some don't, right? But
yeah, the 34s are much tougher than the 33s.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. But it could be, it's not just these rare stuff, but it could be somebody's like Dylan's looking for it perfectly centered. You got to look, is the eye appeal the right? Even though there's a million whatevers, that the one that speaks to you for the price, you might not see in a while, so I don't know. Everyone's different, I could show you one card and you go, why are you gonna pick that thing? What it doesn't, and for me it could be totally different, everyone's different how they.
When I saw this piece, I was really, I love looking at it all the time, because one thing I like about buying collectibles, whether they're cards or schedules or what have you, is the combination of different culture, like American cultures. So here, it's a clash of baseball meeting shaving needs. So endorsements and the 1913 schedule really made good this year, and I love the personal endorsement that's printed with Maddie's handwriting, and then you
Yeah.
have the Durham Duplex Razor Company showcasing their products, and then on the back you got the schedules and a little comic to go with it.
Yeah, I
So
know. That's fantastic. I remember you showing that. Was it on eBay for a while or eBay? Where I've
yeah,
seen that before.
yes.
Really
So
cool.
Dan McKee, Dan, I think
Yeah.
McKee, he
Okay.
had it on eBay. I made an offer for it as
Yeah.
far as
Yeah.
how much I wanted to pay, and Dan accepted it. And I,
No,
uh,
that's
I
cool.
I've been texting him a little bit, asking him about certain things I'm looking for, and he said he's going to be at the National, so I'm looking forward to going to his table.
Yeah. But what's Dan? What's he? I picked up some stuff from him.
Mhm.
I know I did. Yeah.
He's
Is he a tall gentleman?
I had never met him in
Oh,
person.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, his not YouTube, his eBay ID is like Darby-S, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I always, yeah, like similar to you, I know you have your search, like the way you search things in
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah.
I generally just go back to his store and see what new things are listed, to see if he has any new Maze or Seaver stuff or
Yeah.
Maddie
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. I got some few other things. Why? This is a 1933 Bluebird Ruth.
I've never seen those. What a great shot of him.
And the advertisement.
So
So
Bluebird was
29 bottle caps you can and $1 you can get a mitt. And it was a great drink. So
That's
these
weird.
weren't discovered until I think in the early 1990s, and these are pretty tough. I mean, you're probably talking under 10, maybe 12 pop on these things. And so anyway, this is kind of a cool. I love the advertisement though.
Yeah. I was
That's
going
a
to say, you said it was discovered in the 90s. What
Yeah,
happened during,
1990s.
what
When I did
happened?
my research on it, somebody showed them at the National, and then apparently somebody in there had there was like 5 of them or something that was in a desk drawer or something like that, and that's all we don't know too much about them. So Bluebird 1933.
Interesting. So somebody had it at the National and it sparked, like,
Bart. Yeah.
yeah, it sparked an
Actually,
interest.
the person that owned the first one at the National was it might have been the guy who's the seller that got in trouble for selling fake stuff. He went to jail.
I heard about him. I don't know his name.
You know what I'm saying? The
Bino?
guy 20 years ago, pop famous, but he was the one that had that one of
Gotcha.
those like that.
Yeah, Orlando was saying he's the only one I've ever seen. That's amazing that you have one. It's a great story because
Yeah. I have a bottle cap of it too, the drink somewhere here. That's the. I just love doing the research on. I'll do it. My first life, I was a teacher, so I just love the research of these things. Even if I don't buy something, I'll go deep dive as much as I can find on Google. Click it on not only Net54, but maybe someone on Net54 that did something else. Whatever. I type in Bluebird 33 Bluebird, whatever. Any information on the company, whatever, and just try to do a deep dive on it. It's just kind of fun to do that.
I know Dave has the 1952 Coca-Cola tips. Do you have one of Maze?
No.
I am kicking myself because I saw it online. I thought it's such a real. Again, I'm big on design. I like the design of cards or design of things, and it was just such a cool looking piece to have. And I was too late when I discovered it because I saw that one sold for about 2,000 on eBay that was graded by GAI.
Okay.
It was a 1.5, and it still had. I mean, it was creased and it was beat up, but it still looked great. And now the only one that's available on eBay is selling for $35,000, which is
Oh my God.
it's a PSA 4, I think. And yeah, that's another one that I'd be looking for at Strongsville or the National in like a SGC 1 or Authentic even, because I know they go for a lot of money. But yeah,
I'll show you. Here's another one.
Yeah.
And I did a video on this one a few years ago, but in my question I think I actually gave something away. The first person to come up with, why is Ruth wearing this uniform?
King of the Home Run Candy
This
Bar.
is George Ruth Candy.
I don't know.
Does anyone in the chat? Somebody knows the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it have anything to do with? Orlando says coach. He's the coach. What year is it?
Okay, so he was a coach at one time, but this was a movie. The movie escapes me. He was in a movie, and movie. I can't remember what the title was, but he was wearing this uniform.
That's really cool.
And so there's on the back here, you can collect all 6 pictures, and you get his signature free of charge. So there's 6 of them, different ones.
I can't imagine. You get the 6 and you get his autograph.
I've never seen, so that was the type of thing you research, I like to see what the photo looked like. I don't know, no one's ever, hey, this is George Ruth Candy. This is the photo you get when you turn in all 6. So, and these are not that expensive. I mean, for a Ruth card, it's expensive, but I would say it's definitely under 2,000. Definitely under 2,000. And you can't find anything Ruth under 2,000, so.
Is it because maybe it's just not in the Yankee uniform? It doesn't have that same.
Yeah. And these are also faked a lot too. I don't know if I don't think PSA grades these. At one time they did, just SGC.
Gotcha.
See what else I got.
It's a Ruth-a-thon.
I'm pulling out all my.
I wonder where the ratio of Ruth to Maddie's is quite stagnant.
I probably have more. Actually, nowadays, I probably have more Ruth than I do Maddie. Playing day cards.
Was Ruth a big player for you?
No, but I started before the big jump in prices. COVID. I thought they were inexpensive for what you can get on a Ruth, So I thought I'm going to pay, and actually did a video on it saying, hey, I'm going to try to buy some Babe Ruth cards before they're just undervalued, even though they were expensive, and all of them have probably jumped 2, 3, 5 times what I paid for a lot of these before the pandemic, and. So I was in that kind of thing where, I had some money. What am I going to do? It's Babe Ruth, so it's just crazy. The prices on some of these things is just, I bought I have to bite my lip on that 27, where I probably would have been able to get it pre-pandemic, half the price, but you're never gonna, as even I'll just say Dave, I'm bringing up Dave again, and even texting him, these are not going to lose value. If there's 20, 30 of them, unless there's a find of a lot of them, they're going to hold their value. They're just not going to, there hasn't been really a big dip on Ruth or players like that. It's been in the last few years, pretty consistent. Even the Gaudy cards that are pretty common, you can get one, you can get a beater and a 1 that's presentable, a Gaudi for like maybe 5,000. A 2, you're probably a 1.5 more like 7 to 8, 9, which is very expensive. But I'm saying they're pretty consistent now.
Mhm.
It really on those, it's kind of what it is. Probably locked in price on those.
Do you find that your collecting lately has been more pivoted towards the pre-war stuff more so than like the 50s and 60s stuff?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I was on a text earlier with John, and I kind of I don't have a lot of Clemente cards. You know, I have his rookie and a few of them. It just doesn't interest me to do a run on that, or I'm just more interested now in the pre-war stuff and the more of the rare stuff. I kind of have. I'm trying to actually downsize some, so it's I don't need. I have the pretty close to the maze run except for the 53, but I don't. I don't need a Killabrew. Whatever 67 or something like that. That doesn't really interest me. I want to put my money just. I don't know.
Right.
You just change. You know what I mean? You just kind of evolve different ways. I used to be a set collector when I was young. Now I just don't have the patience, to build any more sets or anything like that. So
I understand that.
yeah,
That was something I talked about early on, I think, was I was being asked questions about my collection habits. And the one thing I would say is just from my small time that I've been doing this is habits change
yeah,
and you pick up on things more, you learn things and you kind of identify with what you like over
yeah,
time. So yeah, no, it's something I definitely understand. Like set building takes a lot of patience and time, and there are a lot of people that love to do it, but it's yeah, I agree with you.
no, I mean I mean you were saying earlier that you have 100 whatever cards there in the
Yeah,
box there, which is great. I wish I'm trying to get more narrow it down because it's so easy just to go, oh, I'll get this. And then a month later, you're going, oh, why did I buy that? I probably want something
yeah.
else. And
It's literally this.
yeah,
I got to clean it up a little bit, but yeah,
no, but I mean, you end up becoming a hoarder. And I want to become a hoarder. So I mean, some of these things, I pull them out of the Saint Boz box. I have some cases here, cards. I might not even, if I make a video, I might look at it, but it just sits there. I don't.
yeah.
So what's the point? I mean, I don't know. I'm not getting any younger, so I just that type of thing.
I'm just
Everyone's,
saying, yeah.
did that, done that, and trying to. Now, Mangini, that guy, he's like a buying machine. But
He, I'm in a text group with him in Orlando, and he's sending a photo of something new every night,
yeah,
and
he's texting saying he has a problem. No kidding.
yeah,
But
it's remarkable.
and I also I'm a big Curry fan, so I got some stuff. These I got fairly cheap before he made it big.
Are you a Curry fan, or are you a Golden State Warriors fan, or just a
Oh
Curry
yeah,
fan?
look at the background. I got the Curry.
I know.
This is the Bowman. I really love the Bowman. This is the last year Bowman for basketball.
Well, like, were you a Golden State Warriors fan when they had like Chris Mullin and
Oh yeah,
Mitch Richmond and Tim Hardaway?
definitely. Run
Yeah.
TMC. I'm looking at a Mullen jersey here. I got, yeah, I mean, huge. They weren't very good, but they score a lot.
No, they couldn't handle the Celtics. The Celtics
There's
and the Lakers
a big
dominance.
49er fan. There's Montana Auto
That's incredible.
rookie. throwing out all my big things. There's
Oh wow,
Gretzky.
you weren't kidding about that being fire. Mike is saying you were named after Rick Barry.
Yeah, I know. I love Rick Barry. Was my favorite player. What a great player. He can play nowadays. The way he passes the ball. He used to pass the ball. Let's see, I got.
Oh man.
Let's see what else I got. Throw it out.
The whole stack.
Oh, this is.
Oh wow, Jesus
Jordan.
Christ!
This I picked up at the National in 19.
What year?
2019.
2019.
In Chicago, of all things. Chicago. That was my goal, to get a. And I had two choice. The guy had two of them. He said, "I'll give them to you for the same price." There was an SGC and a PSA, and I didn't care if I thought the PSA was better centering or whatever it was. I would have grabbed the SGC. I just wanted, the grading didn't matter to me. I just wanted the card.
Yeah.
The PSA just ended up being a better 8. So, but I got this one, before, I'll tell you what I paid for this. I paid $2,000 for this, which is big money for me. In 2019, it was still big money. But this is now, what is it, a 5, 6,000, 8,000, something in that general.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't pay that. I would not get that if it was that. I mean, 2,000 is a lot of money, but I would not pay 5,000, 8,000 for something like that nowadays. But
it's quite a collection of stuff.
What else I got?
Oh.
There's
I got a solo.
W502, which blank back here. Hey, this is the look at it's what do you call it?
PWCC. I have a card like that. Not like, well, I have a PWCC some sticker on one of my cards.
This same image is like the Harrington ice cream ones.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find my PWCC one.
I'm throwing out all my before these go in the safety deposit box. I pulled all these out for a video. There's Maddie.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a classic. What a classic! What a great card. Phenomenal. I mean, that one goes for big money now.
I put a smile. Just put some smile just looking at it now. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, you probably said right away. I said, "Oh my God, that's Maddie." So, but this again was something I picked up a long time ago.
Right.
These and I like the Roos. I thought, geez, man, these are undervalued. The Cracker Jacks were undervalued 5-7 years ago. I just Cracker Jacks, and I should have. I just you got other things you want, and I should have bought. I have some, but I would love to have.
Whenever I see something of that magnitude, I have to give the Seaver face.
Oh, there we go. Tom, terrific.
I always show that whenever I see something that's magnificent looking.
So I show. Oh, here's a couple. I know we're probably going to get off here, right? So let me just throw out these. So photos. Look at a poor looking
solo.
Poor 1935 Type 1 of in his Braves outfit.
Wow.
Looks old there, but this is a Type 1.
That's just incredible.
And then I have this one that I think it wasn't developed correctly, but this is a Lou Gehrig snapshot.
What year is that?
This is it says 1930s.
It's incredible. I was just trying to finding these photographs.
I like the small ones. You know what I mean? I mean, I love all photos, but I like the ones that are like card size or smaller ones. Is kind of
yeah.
And if you get these cheaper than you can get the cards, and these are actually the guy's taking a picture. The original negative of the guy taking a picture, which to me is I mean, the pop on this one is who knows, a few, you know what I mean? It wasn't like they just printed out a guy. You know? So I don't know. That's just my thing on Type 1 photos or any photos for that matter.
See, I love the stuff like this. I showed this recently, but the portfolio stars. I mean, they gave like for anyone that was that was a. I guess he's. I don't know if subscriber is the right word, but for the news, they were given the choice to buy this portfolio by Stark, and it has all of the '69 Mets, their
Oh,
portraits. And one of my subscribers met me at the show in Garfield, New Jersey, this past Sunday, and he's like, "Hey, I have this for you," and I was like, "That is super cool," because they don't go for. It's not like they go for a lot of money or anything, but it's just I love those things, like, you know, because you can't really. It's not something that you would find, you know, in somebody's display
yeah.
case. But they, you know, it was just a cool thing to you know, to be gifted by somebody that watches your stuff. So that was cool.
Here's a Chrissy Mathewson.
Oh man.
Oh dang.
What is what is the photo?
This is this uniform tells me around 1902 to 1904, and this was developed. It was a Type 2, but it was developed in the 1920s. So the paper is very similar to what you would have in 1902, 1904, and it saved a ton of money because of Type 2. So this was developed, let's say, in the 60s or 70s or 80s from the original negative. I might not have had as much interest, but since it was developed in the 1920s, I just thought it was really cool. So something like this, probably, if this was a Type 1, probably around $5,000 for a Type 1. This image, this clear image, you know, of him like that. So
forgive my ignorance, but so educate me here, because when they mention Type 1, is this like the original? Is that what they mean by that?
it's the original negative developed within 2 years of when the picture was taken. Gotcha. Original negative, original photo, original negative within 2 years.
Wow.
Okay. If it's a Type 2, it's from the original negative, but developed after 2 years.
Okay, that's good.
So it's from the same negative, but you're going to have different paper stock. You know, probably the quality of the picture. If it's a Type 3, which I don't mind Type 3s because it's from the same period, but it's a duplicate negative, but it's from the same within that 2-year period. So a lot of people prefer the Type 3 over the Type 2s because it's the same paper that particular year, you know, just the duplicate negative. So that's kind of thing. So you pay Type 1s, or, you know, with Ruth or any of those players like that has a nice clear picture like that one, is probably $5,000, which is, I'm not, sweet. And then you pay more for the ones that are that match up with the actual card, you know, like his T206 dark cap is going to be 10,000 whatever thousands of dollars, because that relates to his actual, you know, the card itself. And there's REA auctions. Have you guys ever been on REA, RMY auctions?
No.
Okay. It's a gentleman. He's at the National each year, and it's just photos. Okay. And he has one going on now that ends on Saturday. And you don't have to buy anything. They're just incredible photos, Type 1 photos. And this guy knows his stuff. So if he says he's kind of locked in with the guy that actually the grader at PSA for the photos. So if he says it's Type 1, he gives you a letter saying this is a Type 1 photo. See, there's the photos, right? Different photos that are auctioned. And he has inexpensive ones. Sometimes I get some, they're $20. a photo, a Type 1 photo of an old player.
This is incredible.
And there's a few I'm bidding on. I put some placement bids, who knows? If they go way too high, there's the what do you call it? The Greenberg. You recognize that? That's the original photo of his Gaudi.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's going to go big time.
Yeah, there's been opening $306 right now.
Yeah, but it's that. So this is the one I want right there.
Yeah, from the Burke Ross, right?
The Burke Ross is Stallmeyer. There's the Stallmeyer right there, and his Briggs meat. That photo. I would love to have that one. It's going to go big time now. Isn't that cool?
That's
more than cool, huh? Isn't
I don't know if cool does enough justice.
That's about cool as you get.
Just trying to see what else is there. Wow.
So even if you don't buy, you just look at these things and just mesmerized. They have, when you a lot of pre-war, there's a couple, you'll have one, there's a kid's taking a photo of Babe Ruth. It was really cool. He has them once a month, once every 2 months. And just unbelievable. And some of them you can get relatively inexpensive. There's the Ruth on the, you can see one on the top right there. There's the.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah. That's going to go big time too.
Yeah, it's just everything. Yankee uniform, the bat, the glove.
Just a nice clear picture.
Yeah.
27, I think, 1927.
Right.
He's looking. He's standing there for the picture,
And there's something on the back, it looks like.
Yeah, they wrote the little note. Whatever.
Yeah. This one has less than 24 hours, $1,700.
Yeah, and you have it's a 9% premium on top of that for their photos. But it's all just a cool stuff, man. And if you scrolled through their archives, he has all the archives over the years. So you see some stuff that's just unbelievable. Like see the one with him, Ruth, the little kid's taking a picture of him. That's just cool, huh?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, And then you can tell on the back, they can tell, I'm not an expert on it, but, with the paper, with the stamp is on the back. If it doesn't have anything on the back, it's tough for them. They probably would not, PSA would not give it give you a Type 1 or whatever, because they just can't tell. I have a Ty Cobb picture that I bought from this gentleman at the National, and he guaranteed me it would be a Type 1 Cobb, but it was, you would have to, take, it had a backing on it. So you'd have to soak it, take it out to see what's actually on the back, and there's no way I'm doing that. Look at that one.
Wow.
That is Josh Gibson.
Yeah, and for a guy that doesn't really have many cards, that's an opportunity to get something.
Huh.
Oh, is it signed on the back?
So they put, a lot of the photographs they'll use them for newspapers, so they'll trim them or they'll tell you what, how to, whatever, there's a lot of stuff. Even some of the famous photographers will sign their photos on the back. But isn't that kind of cool though? Just
yeah,
to look through them. Look at that. Look at the Roy Campanella as a minor and a Mexican pre-rookie.
I'm kind of getting swept away, but just by looking at this, so forgive me if I'm not talking.
See, I'm going to get you guys. I'm going to get you guys now in a different, another rabbit hole.
Oh, you don't have to try that hard. I'm over here collecting like matchboxes.
But I just loved. just kind of
pencil clips.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
And
Yeah.
like I said, you're showing, and I'm telling you to show these. But there's Type 1s you can get for look at the one there, the Larry Doby right there.
Mm-hmm. From his
I'm
50
sure.
and 51 Bowman.
From the 52 card.
I feel like this would be a great one for Scott's collection. Oh, that would look great for him. Which this of the Larry Doby? Oh, this one
Right
Larry
to the
Doby.
left of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be That's gonna be massive.
It's at 961.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Once you get that tomorrow night, it's gonna jump. People are just gonna, and that's his card, a 52 card.
Yeah.
But anyway, I could spend all night looking at these different things, and not that I go down that rabbit hole.
It's a great. I mean, I've never heard of that auction house, so that's really
RMY.
cool.
RMY.
Yeah.
Totally legit guy. Really totally legit guy. And because some of these you see these guys on eBay. Oh, this is a Type 1, or this is a Type. No, it's something that was printed yesterday. Type thing. So can't really. If it's too good to be true, anything you turn around the back, and it's really clear, like perfectly no markings, and they say it's Type 1 from 1940. That's totally wrong. It's something developed yesterday.
I'm just looking at. Yeah, it's got some basketball ones as well. Oh wow! All right, I got to show this one because I'm a Bill Russell collector.
There you go.
So I'm going to show this one. That's incredible. Yep.
Go get it. Go get
it. 56 Bill Russell. Yeah, that's his that would be his. I think that's his rookie year.
And see down below, see how he has it, like he'll explain to you the quality of it. He has a different system. That when he says 2, his thing is not just within 1 or 2 years. I think it's like within 5 years. He has a different scale, but that's from the original negative. He just has a different scale than PSA does.
Gotcha.
Within 5 years, I think it's his.
That's good that he does that. That's.
Then he'll give you, not that it means anything, but he'll give you a type letter with his signature, claiming what it is and what he, that type of thing.
Well, that'd be much, if it sells for significantly less, that would be much less than his Topps 57.
Yeah, I mean, you get, what I'm saying? You can. So sometimes it's just like, geez, man, if I can get a Ruth photo that's 5 times cheaper than his actual card,
Yeah.
It's like, and then I put in just a bid, and so it locks me in, and that night, if I win it, I win it, or if I want to go more, and I just I don't, and I just follow it just to see. Some of these things, it goes past midnight, and they're bidding each other, and they're just pretty crazy.
This one's nice too. Yeah, Russell here defending more so, but that's with him in University of San Francisco.
Yeah,
that's the back of it. That's pretty amazing. Good recommendation. Great. I mean,
yeah, just to leave and look. I'm saying, just leave and look. And if you're a specific, a certain fan of a team, maybe you see a pre-war one that's
this is so cool.
$20, of the player.
I'm getting swept away, man. This is like, that's super cool. I love
Snoopy?
the pose. Yeah. This is a Type 1. Man. Okay. I think you got me hooked, Rick.
There you go. And you can send them in. You have a photo. I've sent them in to PSA. They're kind of expensive because to authenticate it, It's going to charge you like $80 to authenticate that any photo, and another $30 to put it in a slab.
Yeah.
You have a choice. You don't have to have it in a slab, but it's still going to charge you $80 for them to authenticate that photo. And I'll give you a piece of paper with a barcode and says whatever, a guy signs it. But I have some, and you get them in quick. You don't have to wait 3 months. You get them in within 3 weeks to a month, and you send them in to New York, where Henry Lee, there's one guy that does that, to his office. Basically, it's a PSA office, but he's the one who authenticates all that stuff.
That's amazing.
Well, I took up all you guys' time, man. Dom, it's like going, what's the Rick coming on here? You didn't say.
No, this is great, Rick. I mean, this is what I was hoping for quite a while, because you never know I never knew what I was going to pick up, and so a lot of great advice, a great recommendation in this auction house, which I've never heard of.
Yeah, but and like I said, about the 12th different time here, but a lot of times I'm just looking, just you learn something, on the back it tells you the game, when it was, just whatever. Some of the things just, you don't, because you don't see, like, sometimes you'll see all the photographers in the stadium. I mean, on the field taking pictures of Babe Ruth, as he's at bat. You don't see a lot of that stuff, how the background and the popcorn guy in the stands, everyone's, just what the signs, no gambling, type of thing, just, I don't know. I just enjoy all that, the history, and a lot of those photos are total history.
Some of the stuff that gets forgotten, it seems.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well,
all right.
I probably need to close this out.
So you got me on. So
I won't bother you anymore.
Nah, that's all right. I just, you know what? To be honest with you, a lot of times I'm on the West Coast. Okay. Yeah. So I'm driving home from work, and you're on, or a lot of people are on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I don't get home to 7 o'clock or whatever, it's 10 o'clock.
Right.
My wife, I eat dinner, whatever is going on. So a lot of times I just don't have the,
Well, I will say
it just doesn't work out.
I totally understand, and but I do appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight, because incredibly helpful. I'm sure when we meet up at the National again, I'll have more questions, but
I don't know. I know what I know. People.
Yeah, and it goes a long way. So I appreciate
a lot of the stuff I forget. Like Dom showed me that. What year is that thing? I don't know. I know it's war.
Well, there's a reason why we both kind of fairly stayed quiet, to make sure we can soak in as much as we can.
Just we all like to look at it, and like you said, the research is half the fun. So you're just giving me more things in my head to look into, and that's exciting to me. So I'm always excited when I get to talk to you or listen to you.
Oh my God, the research! I know we were going, dude. I was trying to find a darn photo for these two. I could not find it on the internet, just to see what the photo actually looks like. Where's it from? What year is the photo? I could not find it. It went Net 54, any kind of information, Google, or that RMY, all the auction houses. I was on a mission to find that photo. What year was that photo? I could not find it. So that's just the type of things I do. I mean, some people are going, what the hell do you spend all the time for? But that's just my interest, just the background on that stuff.
Amazing. Thank you, Rick, so much.
All right. Did I bore? How many are in the chat now? About 10?
No, 37 people.
Okay. Yeah, we've had a good chunk this whole time.
You kept the audience captivated, Rick.
All right. Well, an old fart. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys at the National. Dom, you're going too, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully make this happen. So I'm planning on it.
Yeah, make it happen, man. I've never been to the Cleveland one. So we'll see how that, I know nothing is right there. I mean, afterwards and things like that, you got to get there, and but we're just gonna have a great time. It just
I think so.
I'm gonna miss, darn, that the one that that Chris is setting up. Even if I don't buy anything, I was just a fun to go. I don't. So because you don't, national. A lot of times you look for something, and people say, oh, if it's not there, that's not true.
Not at all.
So, but it's not. So you can find deals wherever. If you search for them.
Yeah.
It's the friends and everyone's showing. I know Sammy, you showed some stuff. I was walking. Everyone, what'd you get? What'd you get? And that's just to celebrate the other person getting something and see a smile on their face. It's just like could be any. I'm just serious. It's like a little kid in the candy store, right? And you just so you're so happy for someone, that I mean that's what I mean I don't know. That's what makes it fun,
I hope to come in day 1 or 2 of the national, if I don't find it at Strongsville, with an 8.5 by 11 top loader of the 1975 super stand-up Laughlin of Tom Seaver.
There you go.
We'll see if that happens. Anyway, guys, I'll close this out. But
all right.
Thank you guys for hopping on. It was a real pleasure to sit down and chat with you guys.
Don, good seeing it. Sorry, I took up the whole.
Don't apologize. You have nothing to
No apologies necessary, my friend. You did a great job.
Great job.
Did a lot of awesome stuff.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care.
All right, bye.
All right, let's see. Is Rick? Okay. Let's see. All right, everybody. So, yeah, I will say that 3 hours of doing this live stream is 37 people still here is quite remarkable. I just want to say thank you to everybody that stuck around. I feel like maybe this needs to turn into some sort of routine, but I don't know. More Friday night. Yeah. I mean, Mike Petty's saying more Friday night. Darren, great video. Appreciate you guys. It's a lot of fun. I'm honestly super, super stoked that Rick came on, Dom came on. It was great to kind of sit back and kind of listen to Rick's wisdom, but also to kind of see some of the stuff that he likes. And honestly, the big takeaway for me is he's seen that new auction, or not new, but that auction website. Get some water, Sammy. Yeah, my voice is pretty shot. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming on. I hate to cut it short because there's still a lot of people here, but subscribe to Vintage Goats. Get him to 50. I think he's 1 away if he's not there already. Subscribe to Pastor Craig. I know there's a lot of these guys are just starting out their channel. So yeah, as Tad puts it nicely, it's such a great hobby. It's absolutely true. So thank you guys so much. I'll be at the Philly show tomorrow, Mount Kisco on Sunday. The Philly show, try to do as big of a walkthrough as I can for you guys, but again, I'll be hanging out with some people. So, and Vintage Goats hit 50. Congratulations, VG. So have a great night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care.